What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 11 FP 266. Returned to Earth after seeing Jacques come back, Jane looked around, but found no trace of Thor. As a last resort, I had to interrupt the intimate contact between Yake and Daisy. Thor? It must be difficult for him to come over? Yake scratched his head. How do you say this kind of thing? This is probably the case of alien star love. The two are separated by a distance of a galaxy. Jane had a bad premonition. What do you mean? The Rainbow Bridge was destroyed. Thor can't come to Earth for the time being. I have a special way to come back. Thor can only stay in Asgard, but he misses you very much and is depressed every day, so... I'm sorry, but I can't help it. Jacques thought for a while. Let's say something nice for Thor. Anyway, Thor is still a good friend, and Jacques can't bear to cheat him again. Okay, you go on. I still have something to do. I think I have to continue to study. Jane's anger was exhausted, and she staggered out of the studio. Eric saw Jane like this and immediately chased her out, fearing that something might happen to her. Tisk 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 Tilda, it's so pitiful, but luckily you're back. Daisy blushed, as if she already knew what was going to happen next, but Yake had to leave, because there was a more ruthless one waiting for him in Queens. Daisy, I've been away for a week. I have to go home first. Can I ask you out at 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon? Daisy was a little disappointed, but she still agreed. It was really too hasty now, she didn't even change into beautiful clothes. Yake returned to New York directly along the socket, and came out from the socket at the head of the bed. There was no one in the room. When Yake was about to go to the next door, a portal opened. Robin. Yake looked at Robin in surprise, and couldn't believe his eyes. Is this still Robin? Robin's hair turned into snow-white silver threads, his eyes turned into ice blue, and his skin became fairer. Fortunately, Opie didn't shrink, and Yake breathed a sigh of relief. How is it? Does it look good? Robin waved his hand, and the clothes on his body turned into ice silk. At first glance, it looked a bit like the Snow Queen Elsa. No, it was the Snow Queen. Advertisement, I have to say, your beauty still suffocates me. Yake stepped forward to hug Robin, a little cold, but it doesn't matter. Robin has already offered to send a passionate kiss. Yake, I succeeded. I became the master of the dimension. Now I am confident to bring all the sisters here at once. Thank you, Robin. I also got the reality gem, and I'm going to give it to Rayleigh for safekeeping, so that she can accompany you. Yake stretched out his hand, and the red gem of reality appeared in his hand, shining brightly. That's great, but Yake, I have to go back to the sanctuary first. Teacher Gue is calling me, and I will come to you next time. Robin nibbled on Yake's lips and then left. Yake chuckled. Robin is getting more and more seductive. Knock knock. Yake, are you back? May stood outside and knocked on the door. She seemed to hear a voice just now. The door opened, and she was carried into the room by Yake in the next second. Miss me? Yake groped around on May, and May was panting by Yake, but still bit Yake's neck bitterly. What are you doing? You want to murder your husband? Yake touched his neck and could clearly feel the tooth marks on it. The mouth was too hard. Fortunately, he didn't have a stress reaction, otherwise May would lose at least 2 teeth. The next time you leave without a word, I'll bite off your head. Haha, look at what you said, your mouth is so big, I was wrong. Yake immediately confessed, because May grabbed Yake's lifeblood, and the head she was talking about turned out to be this. Love me, now. After May felt the change in her hands, she let out a mouthful of hot air in Yake's ear, and the sling had slipped off her shoulders, and everything was said without saying a word. Peter was doing his homework and felt the walls were shaking, but he was used to it, and the downstairs was being renovated. Anyway, that's what Aunt May told him, but he was a little hungry, so he put down his pen and walked out the door. Advertisement, May. Are you there? I'm hungry. That's right, don't tell others. This is an agreement between us, a man's agreement, right? Damn it, stop it, Peter is coming. Oh Tilda, damn it, on the Himalayas. Gue turned his back to Robin and looked at the white peaks in the distance. Seeing that Yake was indifferent, May became anxious, and pinched Yake's face to tell him to stop quickly, but Yake had to give up and put it inside without moving. May Lou's eyebrows were raised upside down, looking angry. Yake had no choice but to surrender and eat in peace of mind. Robin, here you come. May, who was sitting on the sink, heard Peter's voice startled, and patted Yake on the shoulder to make him stop. May was a little flustered. Opposite Yake's kitchen was Peter's room. Did he hear something? She wasn't ready to announce her relationship with Yake just yet. Peter nodded pretendingly. Very good job. If I have money, I will definitely give you a tip. After half an hour, May, who was blushing, returned to her room. She didn't dare to look directly at Peter, and could only cook for Yake and Peter silently. May took another bite on Yake's shoulder, leaving a tooth mark. Yake forcibly held May and moved the battlefield. Uncle Yake, where have you been this week? I think you haven't been online. Have you returned to your home planet? Yake stretched out his fist and touched Peter's small fist, and then fell silent. Peter wanted to ask a lot of questions, but May had already brought the dishes, so he had to give up. Let's eat your meal. May patted Peter on the head angrily, untied her apron and was about to eat, but suddenly found that the stockings on her thighs had been torn. May Chow blushed, and tied the apron back on. The culprit still looked at her with a smile. What's the matter? Peter, are you hungry? You can eat the snacks in the refrigerator. Now Uncle Yake and I are discussing important things. Wait a minute. Well, wait a minute, I'm cooking with you. Oh my god Tilda, wait a minute. 2 guests, this is today's dinner, please take it easy. Peter scratched his head. He didn't know what happened, he just felt that Aunt May seemed a little weird, and it was more important to fill his stomach first. Peter glanced at May secretly, and whispered to Jake after seeing that she hadn't noticed it. His eyes were full of curiosity. May first gave Jake a blank look, and then pretended to be nonchalant and played role-playing. Today she is a waiter. 267. Intention to abdicate. Robin walked up to Ji Yi and put his arm around her shoulders. They are already used to this kind of action, they are both teachers and friends. Ji Yi likes Robin's character very much. Strange has been completely given up by her. He may be able to become a mage, but obviously Robin is more suitable to be the supreme mage. Ji Yi said lightly, "Are you ready to become the supreme mage?" Robin was a little surprised. She had only learned magic for less than a year, and it was too soon to become the supreme mage. "Teacher, this is not appropriate. You are the supreme mage. I think it's a little too fast. I still have a lot to learn from you." Ji Yi turned around, and a dark and evil circle appeared on his head. Robin's pupils shrank. "This is the ritual pattern on the Book of Camustro. It is used to link the dark dimension, isn't it? The teacher has been absorbing the power of the dark space for his own use. As you can see, Robin, I was deceived by Dormammu. I thought I had found an inexhaustible source of energy, but this energy is slowly corroding my body and affecting my mind, although it gives my eternal life, but I can no longer fight Dormammu. Do you feel that you have been deceived?" Looking at Robin's expression, Ji Yi smiled wryly. Since she confessed to Robin, she was already prepared, but she didn't know how Robin would choose. "No, teacher, you were right. Without you, the earth would have been devoured by demon gods from other territories. There is no right or wrong power, it just depends on how the possessor uses it." Robin saw it very clearly. Yake is like this, and for example, ancient weapon and the like. Ji Yi is not a saint, she will make mistakes. Robin can understand very well. You are finally so sensible. Dormammu is a tricky enemy. Are you sure you can deal with him? His strength is more than that simple. Ancient One told Dormammu about some of his abilities, such as arbitrarily changing his size and shape, controlling elements, telepathy, dimensional teleportation, resurrecting the dead, immortality. Are the most basic operations, unless the dark dimension is destroyed. Otherwise absolutely it is impossible to destroy Dormammu, who is beyond time, beyond death. Robin quietly listened to Ji Yi's story. Ji Yi couldn't deal with Dormammu, but she could. She even vaguely had a bold idea, but it would take some time. "If you are ready, just tell me, don't force it. As long as I'm still here, Dormammu dare not come to this universe." "Understood, teacher, I will discuss with Yake about Dormammu." Robin smiled and stood beside Ji Yi, watching the scenery of the Himalayas with her. Advertisement in New Mexico. Daisy put on her most beautiful clothes to perfectly set off her figure. Jane felt sour when she saw it. Everyone else went on a date. Her Thor was still stuck in his hometown and couldn't get out. There is still a glimmer of hope for Thor. She has left this sad place long ago. "Jane, I'll give you 500 knives. Go out to play at night, don't come back. Remember to bring that old guy Eric with you." Daisy boldly took out a small stack of banknotes, implying that something big will happen here tonight, and it is best for idlers to stay out of the way. Yake arrived on time, holding a gift box in his hand. Looking at the trademark, he knew that it was definitely not cheap. Yake had tried his best. This was the most expensive necklace he had seen in a luxury store. With a smile on her face, Daisy happily took the gift, put it in her room, tidied up her appearance, and went to dinner with Yake. In the evening, Daisy drank too much because she was too nervous, so she took Yake to the door of her room. Yake understood, but Eric and Jane seem to live here, right? "Elbow, follow me into the house." Daisy pulled Yake into her room and locked the door. Yake was stunned. She didn't expect Daisy to be so strong. This was the first time Yake had experienced this. Well, what else can I say? Yake is sandwiched with cheese between two breads, very moist. After the passion, Yake snapped his fingers, and a Cuban cigar appeared in his hand, which ignited spontaneously without fire. Daisy had already fallen asleep, and the blush remained on her cheeks, and the surroundings were in a mess. Yake seemed to be the one who got ed. Yake took a deep breath, slowly exhaled the smoke. His eyes were dull. The drunk American's sister was terrible. In the morning, Daisy woke up suddenly. Looking around, she suddenly felt a splitting headache. What happened last night was vivid in her memory. Did she seem to scare Yake? Thinking of this, she realized that Jacques had disappeared long ago, and she felt a sense of loss. Looking at Madara's refutation of bloodline on the bedsheet, he didn't know what he was thinking, and tears rolled in his eyes. "Daisy, wash up and get ready for breakfast." Daisy burst out laughing, turning worry into joy. The depression just now was swept away. She took a sheet to cover her body and rushed into the bathroom. Yake laughed dumbfounded when he saw this scene, and now he is starting to be shy, really. "Ah, it's Yaksama." Advertisement back home. Yake shouted into the air. Just now Robin was looking at him in the mirror space. After getting the reality gem, Yake was able to see through the illusory mirror space. Yake's bedroom suddenly became lively, and Yin Yang and Yan Yan were in harmony everywhere. Robin looked at Yake playfully. If he didn't tap it, Yake's fiddling. I can't imagine it. "Robin, you can come out now. You are so fast, Captain. You have cheated another little girl. I wonder if you want to marry more wives." Anna watched a brilliant spark from a distance, and yelled for Hancock and the others to come over. Then, Hancock and Reiju walked into the portal with Shirahoshi in their arms and came to Yake's room. Wow, the sun is so big today. Hey, is it Sister Robin? Hey, everyone, Sister Robin's portal is open again. Yake pointed out the window. It was dark outside, and the moon was high in the sky. After spending a good day with Daisy, Yake said goodbye to Daisy. She has her own studies, and Yake also has her own affairs. Forget it, I'm too lazy to talk about you. Let me see how you explain it to Sister Hancock. Daisy, if you miss me, call me anytime. No matter where the world is, I will come to you. Anna was very surprised when she saw Yake on the opposite side of the portal. She plunged into the portal and fell on Yake's face. Anna didn't change at all. Daisy sobbed and threw herself into Jake's arms, kissing her last goodbye. Robin gave Yake a blank look, raised his hand to release the portal, and a steady stream of power was sent into the portal, opening the passage to the world of pirates. 268. Family reunion. Yake is in a great mood, and the family is finally reunited. Robin, based on everyone's situation, how long do you think you can stay? After hearing Yake's words, Robin began to cast spells, and laid patterns on the bodies of Hancock and the others. Each of them had a infinity symbol on their arms, and everyone entered the mirror space. I have sealed everyone's ability, which can last for 7 days, and Yake has found another infinity gem, Rayleigh, which can keep you in this world. After Robin cast the spell, he glanced at Yake. Yake raised his hand, and the reality gem appeared in the palm of his hand. Several arms emerged behind Robin and began to cast the spell, making the reality gem return to the form of ether particles. Rayleigh, use your abilities, absorb it. Rayleigh nodded. His hands turned into black mist, and the others held their breath with their eyes wide open, for fear of missing any pictures, because they would get their own gemstones sooner or later, and Robin had already vaccinated them in advance. The black mist in Rayleigh's hand approached the ether particles, and began to blend with the ether particles. Rayleigh's figure switched between illusion and reality, and finally completely merged into one. Rayleigh began to pant heavily, his chest rising and falling. I seem to have succeeded? Yake closed his eyes and felt for a while. The spiritual imprint of the reality gem was still his own, and he could sense its position in the dark. Now it seems that there are no side effects. That's right, Rayleigh, you succeeded. You can freely use the power of the reality gem. Congratulations, you have become the holder of the infinity gem. Robin looks very happy. Rayleigh is an important part of the plan to defeat Dormammu, but he doesn't know whether Rayleigh and Yake are willing to participate together, and he is also hesitating whether to drag them into the water. Thank you, Robin. Rayleigh hugged Robin, and Robin whispered something in Rayleigh's ear. Let's not talk about that for now. Everyone finally came to reunite. Let's treat it as a honeymoon. How about hanging out together? Yake clapped his hands and expressed his thoughts, but Robin and Rayleigh shook their heads and refused. Advertisement, Yake. Robin and I can live in this world normally. You can take Hancock and the others to play together. We both have plenty of time to spend with you. Also, I want to learn the same magic as Robin to control my own power. Yake nodded. That's the reason. Hancock, Anna and the others only have 7 days. Let's take them to play around the earth first. Unfortunately, Master Yake, Sister Anna and I. Shirahoshi said hesitantly. She looked at the world outside the window, and found that she and Anna seemed to be a different kind. Let me do it, it's not difficult. The ether particles appeared in Rayleigh's hands, and Shirahoshi and Anna changed drastically. Shirahoshi is okay. Compared with normal people, she just has an extra tail fin. Rayleigh just changed her lower body, allowing her to have legs in advance, so she can stand and walk on the ground. Anna's changes were a little bit bigger. The white and soft fur on her body began to fall off, and the white hair on her head began to grow. Finally, she became a white-haired energetic girl. Ah, Anna's fur. Woohoo, Sister Rayleigh, will they never come back again? Anna looks very sad. All her beautiful fur is gone. How will she groom herself in the future? Ha ha ha, Anna, don't worry, you will return to your original shape after 7 days. I didn't expect the power of this thing to be so magical. Anna suddenly remembered something, and whispered something in Rayleigh's ear. After speaking, Rayleigh gave Anna a strange look, but seeing Anna's longing eyes, Rayleigh sighed, and activated the power of the reality gem again. Yake glanced at it casually, and then couldn't move anymore. You used the reality gem for this? Shirahoshi was stunned, looked down, and immediately screamed. His face turned red into a big apple. Rayleigh slapped his head, regretful. Why did he forget? Hastened to create a beautiful skirt directly on Shirahoshi. Yake, I heard that 1 day has passed in our place, and 3 days have passed in your place. That is to say, you haven't seen us for nearly a year? Advertisement. Anna curiously sat beside Yake's gaming chair, staring at the video being played on the computer, and she was immediately attracted. She didn't expect that there are such interesting things on the earth. Curtains, close, electromagnetic barrier, release. Thank you, Rayleigh. Moi. Shirahoshi was also amazed, walking back and forth in the room, jumping up and down, as if he had discovered the new world. During the period, many scouts came to inquire about the news of the 3 of Hancock, but they were all sent away by Yake one by one. It is up to you to say whether Hancock and the others are beautiful or not. I really thought Yake was a vegetarian. Shirahoshi, stop jumping around, meow. Your shell is barely holding up. Also, you're not wearing pants. It took Yake nearly $10 million in 7 days, and Yake didn't even blink. The envious and jealous eyes of the men around him were all on Yake, but no one dared to act rashly. After all, Yake didn't look easy to mess with. Anna happily kissed Rayleigh's face, then walked towards Yake swaggeringly, hugged Yake's other arm. Hancock was always by Yake's side. Hancock, Anna, Shirahoshi, it's already very late today, and I will officially take you out to play tomorrow. Hancock pushed Yake onto the bed, and the charm of Master Snake was fully displayed. Yake couldn't help but swallowed a mouthful of saliva. I'm busy tonight. Yake looked at the time. It was too late today, and there was no chance to go out to play, except for things like nightclubs and bars, but those places were too smoky and meaningless. Pirate World has similar places. Robin and Reiju stepped forward to leave a lip print on Yake's face. Then Yake and his party exited the mirror space. Robin and Reiju returned to Karmatage through the portal. In the next 7 days, Yake took Hancock and the others to various cities in America, shopping, watching movies, playgrounds, tire restaurants. Yake, Reiju and I are leaving first. I won't bother you for the next 7 days. I wish you a happy time. Yaksama, is this the Earth? I don't know many things, meow. What is this? I saw that Anna's C changed to E at a speed visible to the naked eye, just like blowing up a balloon. After a short operation, Anna was very satisfied, and proudly rubbed at Yake. It was hard not to suspect that she was seducing Yake. 267. Thunder Dimension. The happy time is always short, and 7 days pass by in a flash. Back in Yake's room, Anna and Shirahoshi have changed back to their original appearance, and Anna is still a little bit lost. Yaksama, when can I see you next time? Anna lay on Yake's shoulder. Nan said to herself. She was very reluctant, she just wanted to be with Yake. Don't worry, Anna, I will definitely collect the infinite gems as soon as possible, and try to let you come here as soon as possible. Yake scratched Anna's chin with his backhand. The normal Anna was cute, so furry and cute. Yake gently stroked Hancock's tenderness. Hancock, Anna and Shirahoshi, please take care of them. Hancock looked at Anna and Shirahoshi with a smile, and said confidently, Don't worry, my dear, I will take good care of Anna and Shirahoshi. The kingdom of Sky God is safe now, and there are no pirates making trouble. You don't worry, they had a great time on Nine Snake Island. Then I'm relieved. Robin, send them back. Yake turned to look at Robin, and Robin nodded. Sister Hancock, Anna, Shirahoshi, goodbye, I'll go and play with you when I have time. Yeah, Robin, Reiju, Yake is up to you, goodbye. Hancock led Shirahoshi and Anna into the portal with 3 steps and 3 heads, and waved goodbye to them in the other world until the portal closed. Robin, is there something you're hiding from me? Just say it. Yake found that something was wrong with Robin recently, but he didn't have an attack. It seemed that something was hidden from him, and he didn't dare to tell him, which made Yake a little uncomfortable. You found out, then I'll just say it straight. Robin sighed and glanced at Reiju, who nodded in understanding. Beyond the Earth, there is a powerful enemy whose name is Dormammu Tilda. Robin and Reiju cooperate with each other to create another world. This world is like a dark abyss. A face in the center of the world slowly emerges. Yake frowned. Dormammu, isn't it a few years later? Isn't Ji still alive and well? Could it be? Advertisement, Yake. Teacher Ji just wants me to drive Dormammu away so that he doesn't pay attention to the Earth, but I found that Reiju is very suitable for the power of the Dark Latitude, so I have a bold idea. Robin talked eloquently, and told Yake about her plan. She wanted Reiju to divide Dormammu's power. At least she had to fight against him, so that Dormammu would no longer dare to attack the Earth's attention, or go a step further and simply eliminate Dormammu and make Reiju the ruler of the Dark Latitude. Is this too risky? After all, we are going directly to other people's lairs, and the risks are uncontrollable. The reason why Yake said this is because he is not invincible in the Marvel Universe. There are too many powerful beings, not to mention there are real gods here. Their mighty power is beyond the reach of Yake. It's hard to say. No matter how you say it, Dormammu is a multiverse-level boss, so it's not good to hit the door and bully others, isn't it? Don't worry, at least we won't die. Our lowest goal is to get rid of Dormammu. If we're lucky, we won't be able to make Reiju even stronger. Yake thought for a while. Since the lives of Robin and Reiju are guaranteed, it doesn't matter. Anyway, they are not afraid of dying inexplicably, and the job is over. Okay, Robin, Reiju, let's fight side by side again. Robin smiled and narrowed her eyes, and she knew that Yake couldn't bear to let them face a strong enemy, and she was right. Honey, but there is one more thing you need to do. Robin sat behind Yake and rubbed his shoulders, and Yake hummed comfortably. You need to become a Latitude Lord so that you will not be affected by Dormammu's black magic. You cannot fight against Dormammu with strong power alone. The only thing that suits me is Lay. Is there any latitude about thunder? So, I prepared it for you a long time ago. This is a surprise. No creature has ever conquered the Thunder Nebula. Fortunately, I discovered it in time. Otherwise, gods will be born soon. If you want to fight for it at that time, you will have to fight for it. It's a little troublesome. Yake suddenly opened his eyes, and his eyes were shining brightly. Thank you, Robin, then I will be impolite. What should I do? Unexpectedly, Robin blew hot air into Yake's ear, and Yake's hair stood on end. I really don't want to pay the food now. It's been 7 days, and the donkeys in the production team haven't been made like this. What are you hiding? You can't run away. You haven't been with me and Reiju for the past 7 days. 4 orange-yellow magic chains locked Yake firmly, and Yake was taken directly into the mirror space with a cool back. No, don't come here. Advertisement in the mirror space. Robin showed Yake the technique to deal with Dormammu, the time loop, that is to say. Robin, wouldn't this be too good? Today, it ushered in an unexpected guest. Later, Robin and Reiju went to prepare, and Yake was recharging his energy and preparing to conquer the Thunder Nebula. Robin opened a portal, and Reiju returned the ether to Yake. Find the gestating god and absorb its energy, Thunder Nebula. Do not worry. Reiju was a little worried, feeling that this was too cruel to Yake. Robin and Reiju turned into juicing girls and killed all directions in the time loop. Yake lost, and lost completely. The blue electro-optic body suddenly flashed with purple and red intertwined lines, and Yake began to exert strength. Yake, you have to be careful, you are not a mage, so your way is a little different, I will help you by the side, just do it. Yake took the ether back into his body and passed through the portal. Facing this blue-purple nebula, Yake is as small as a grain of dust, insignificant, but Yake feels extremely close, as if he should belong here by nature, and coming here is like going home. This is an unknown latitude. It hides between the gaps in the universe. Occasionally, interstellar pirates will pass by, and they will be ruthlessly turned into nothingness by it, because this is a forbidden place, a gathering place of thunder elements, and a kingdom of thunder. 10 days later. In the orbit of the nebula, the thunder of the void is everywhere, and Yake has already elementalized his whole body, bathed in this sea of thunder. Robin's words kept coming to Yake's ears, and Yake had to give up. Yake, stop playing, I know you like this environment very much, but you have more important things to do. HMPH, seeing that he found 2 more women outside, you don't know yet. This time is just to let him remember, come on, continue. 268. Celestial embryo Yake walked through the sea of thunder, unimpeded. Soon, Yake arrived at the center of the thunder dimension. Yake saw the scene in front of him, clenched his fists, and was ready to enter the battle at any time. A huge egg was beating under the cover of the nebula. This egg alone was already comparable to a supergiant sea king's. Yake visually estimated that the diameter was about 5 kilometers, and it was still beating slowly, making a deafening thumping sound. Yake couldn't help clicking his tongue. The sound of thunder that he thought just now was the heartbeat of this giant egg. This is too exaggerated. According to Robin, this is the embryo of the gods, and it must have how big. Yake patted his head and recalled a name in his mind, God. The land of nothingness is an area formed by the heads of dead gods. Until today, the brains and other materials in it have not been mined. It is conceivable how huge they were when they were alive. None are fully developed. Yake, kill him. Every god formed will absorb the power of countless intelligent life. There are countless thunder elemental elves living on this planet. They will all be your most loyal believers. They will be your source of strength. Source. Robin's words reached Yake's ears in a timely manner, and Yake swallowed his saliva. Got it, I'll test the water with a punch first. The reality gem and the power gem exerted force at the same time, and Yake's size rapidly increased, soon surpassing the size of the dome, and he didn't feel a little strenuous until he was nearly 8,000 meters tall. Yake waved his fist casually, feeling that it didn't have much impact after getting bigger, and it was about the same speed as usual, so Yake was relieved. Boom. Yake slammed on the shell of the giant egg like a fist the size of a giant meteorite. There was a deep pit on the giant egg, and there were purple cracks all over the periphery. Yake looked around and found no change. It seemed that he was thinking too much, up. Then Yake began to attack the giant egg with one punch and one kick, tearing apart the shell until the fleshy lump inside was exposed. Bloodshot all over his body, still wriggling, looking a little disgusting. Yake was about to smash it, when the meatball suddenly opened its eyes. Bold. How dare you offend the gods, retreat quickly, or I will banish you out of the void. This sound was transmitted directly to Yake's mind, and it was still echoing constantly. Yake shook his head, trying to get rid of the sound, but it was useless. God. Now you are just a lump of sarcoma, how dare you show off in front of me? Yake showed a disdainful smile, stretched his hand behind his back, and began to extract the void thunder in the thunder sea, and condense the weapons. Advertisement, aren't you afraid of the revenge of the gods? Stop it, stop it. The meatball squirmed for a while, and a dozen humans appeared. Yake narrowed his eyes. What is this? Humanity? Or a robot? Regardless, Yake directly released a large amount of lightning to disperse these annoying flies. How dare you offend my lord, Eternals, come with me and attack. Following the guidance of the woman wearing the crown, others started to attack Yake's single part with the same target, but the elemental Yake was exempted from these fancy lasers, fists, etc., but soon Yake felt my mind was bewildered. No, someone uses mind control. Yake's complexion changed, and he activated the power of the reality gem to apply spiritual protection, and the feeling of dizziness disappeared. You guys are so cheap. Yake got angry, and speeded up the extraction speed, and the giant blade took shape quickly. Let's kill this god who has no resistance first. Stop him, buy me time. The gods and the embryo are in a hurry. The eternal race was originally a race created by them to protect their smooth birth. This is their mission. For them, the orders of the gods cannot be disobeyed or disobeyed. Cut off his energy source. The leader of the eternal clan shouted loudly, pointing to Yake's radiant right hand, and the others understood, gathered together to show their magical powers, trying to cut off the connection between Yake and Nether Thunder. Ha ha ha, it's too late, what kind of eternal gods, that's all. Yake held up the blade of the void, and cut it down under the horrified eyes of the gods. Face the judgment of fate. No. My god. The eternal people stopped in front of the giant sword and used laser and other abilities to consume the energy of the giant sword. It has to be said that it is very useful, but how could the void thunder that Yake had accumulated for so long be wiped out so easily? Far from enough. The blade of the void cut off the flesh without accident, and divided the embryo of the god of heaven into two. The god of heaven swept Yake with vicious eyes, and his eyes were full of hatred. Ah tilde you. You must die, advertisement. You will regret it. The gods will destroy your planet, everything about you. The will and divinity of the gods, Robin said without turning his head, and cast a spell to hold the red streamer in his hand. Smash Verudo. Yake swallowed the ball of light without hesitation, Robin will not harm himself, swallowing a ball of golden light into his stomach. My life is up to me. Congratulations, you have become a god. Well, what is this thing? Yake, who had changed back to his original form, came to Robin and asked curiously, Robin won't be taken away, right? Robin peeled off a golden ball of light from the red streamer and handed it to Yake. This is its divinity, eat it, and you can merge this dimension and become the ruler of the dimension. Except for Robin and Yake, everything in this world was stopped, and the frost quickly covered everything, and time stopped flowing. Thank you, Robin, but why did you use this move name? Yake's whole body glowed with golden light, and his body was warm. He felt that countless weak signals were coming to him, and Yake couldn't help but look at Robin. Yake scratched his head, as if there was such an anime on YouTube. From the corner of Yake's eyes, he noticed a mass of red streamer fleeing quickly, and soon realized that the god was not completely dead, and hurriedly wanted to catch up. This is the belief of the Thunder Elemental Elves. You have become their ruler, their true god. As long as there are people in this universe who believe in you, you are eternal. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, haven't you watched it? In the unwilling roar of the gods, the embryo was turned into ashes by the thunder, and the eternal family who protected the gods also froze in place, motionless, as if they had lost consciousness. Robin said with ease, she has experienced this kind of scene once, and she has some experience. Then now, don't I? 269. Dark Dimension. Robin smiled and looked at Yake with a mocking look in his eyes. God? Like the one just now? Yake couldn't help but feel a little disgusted. That's what the gods are like. It sounds very lame. It's just a way of saying, or that you already have power beyond the universe level of a single body. There are not many things in this universe that can threaten you, and the Infinite Stone is one of them. The same to you. Robin flicked the time gem on his chest with both hands, lifted the time stagnation, and everything around him returned to normal. That's right, me too. There is also an embryo of a god in the ice elemental dimension, but it is weaker and has just developed. I have picked up a loophole. Robin lamented her good luck. If she really met a fully developed god, she would have to run away. This is really, I suddenly feel that my cognition can't keep up. Yake sighed unceasingly. The god who appeared suddenly caught him off guard. From the mouth of the god just now, he learned that there is definitely more than one god. Maybe there are countless gods silently conceived in the universe, and maybe there is one on the earth. Don't worry, Yake, this is a good thing for you. We can go home when we collect all the Infinity Stones. Robin murmured in Yake's arms, and Yake patted Robin on the shoulder, staring at the Thunder Nebula ahead. Are those all Thunder Elemental spirits? Yake looked at the small thunderballs below. They were clustered around Yake, as if they were cheering. They are your most loyal believers. Unless they die, they will always respect you as a god. Keep your mind down and you can hear their language. Yake held a slightly larger thunderball in his hand, and according to what Robin said, he closed his eyes and felt their sound. God answered us. We are the people of God. God Yak. God answered me. Yak God Tier. Advertisement. Yake suddenly felt that there were countless people talking in his head. Almost all of them were flattering, which made Yake himself a little embarrassed. The key is that these elves have no desires, and the Sea of Thunder is immortal. They are eternal. This is the benefits of elemental life. They can continuously provide Yake with the power of faith. Their civilization is very simple, and you are the only one for them, so you'd better leave something for them to admire and condense their beliefs. Robin said with a lot of experience that her ice statues have already stood in every corner of the ice elemental dimension. Let me see, just use gold. Red energy spewed out, and golden statues of Yarks landed in every corner of the Thunder Nebula, so that the Thunder Elves didn't have to surround him, and each group could get a golden Yark. After a while, a little bit of starlight gathered into a long river and poured into Yake's body, improving every cell of Yake. Yake couldn't help making a happy sound. Robin blushed and continued to observe Yake's situation. Yake's body was gradually shrouded in starlight, and his whole body became colorful Madara, just like the aggregation of nebula, which was a bit gorgeous at first glance. After a while, the starlight was absorbed in the body, and the whole person was completely new, surrounded by mysterious runes, and there seemed to be a sea of stars in the eyes, which made people addicted. I am. Yake was a little puzzled. Although he felt very good, he didn't know what happened at all. Could it be that he was not a human being anymore? The leap of life, the first step into eternity. Robin said lightly. The clothes on his body disappeared without a trace. The body was surrounded by runes similar to Yake, and the two looked at each other in the void. Yake, we already have eternal life and an indestructible body, but we can't lose our human emotions. Then we will be no different from Dormammu, and we will only become demon gods chasing power in the end. Don't worry, I know it well. If the price of becoming a god is losing human feelings, I would rather be an ordinary person. In the void, the two nascent gods approached slowly and began to discuss the meaning of life. After an unknown period of time, the wind stopped and the waves stopped, and everything returned to silence. The death of one god is accompanied by the birth of another god. Advertisement. The population in the universe is increasing, and the gods are also born. I am the destiny. Arms are all around Robin, while casting magic spells. One person is an army of mages. Yak, let's stop him. Reiju, try to absorb his power. Who? It's you. Gui's disciple dared to come to my territory, courting death. In a giant battleship, Thanos in gorgeous armor sat high on the throne, looking at the distant starry sky and muttering to himself. Yake showed his snow-white teeth. Of course, I have long thought about the so-called Dimension Demon God for a while. The bad guys on the earth are just like playing house, which is boring. Dormammu's face immediately appeared in the void, and he launched an attack without hesitation. It seemed that he knew the reason why the villain died because of talking too much. The dark dimension, looking around, is a silent and dark galaxy, full of rich dark energy everywhere, almost no end in sight. This place is completely a distorted space, and the original appearance of the former planet can be vaguely seen. Do you know how many planets Dormammu devoured to reach its present size? The portal opens, and Robin and Rayleigh step out through it. After returning to Earth, Yake returned to normal, but his temperament was completely different, and his attraction to women was terrifying, like a walking aphrodisiac. Yake seldom goes out, otherwise he would be very annoying to meet women of all ages who strike up a conversation. Yake has been familiarizing himself with his own power recently. The only feeling is that knowledge of physics is useless. The reality gem can change the rules of physics at will. Fortunately, the reality gem is used by Rayleigh, so it is not a blood loss. Robin and Rayleigh took Yake's hand from left to right and walked into the portal together. Thanos clenched his fists and his gaze was firm. The birth of a god requires the sacrifice of countless intelligent creatures. As long as the population is reduced by half, all creatures can not only avoid the fate of resource depletion, but also prevent the birth of a god. It kills two birds with one stone, but his approach has always been no one can understand, only that he is crazy. That's good, let's go. Yake, are you ready? We are going to the Dark Dimension soon. While becoming the overlord of the universe, he was also known as the Mad Titan. Dormammu, come out! Yake shouted loudly, and by the way looked down at the green magic circle in his hand. This is the time loop magic circle that Robin set up for them. If there is an accident, everything can be restarted. 270. Dimensional demon god powerful energy fluctuations continued to come, and the black magic released by Dormammu was blocked by the shield. Yake turned into thunder, and Kamui was mighty, and the thunder flashed, smashing the black mist of Dormammu's body. Rayleigh was like another Dormammu, crazily absorbing everything around him, and the dark power constantly fills Rayleigh's body. Shameless thief! How dare you steal my origin? Dormammu was furious. This was more than those mages. At most, mages used his power to cast some spells, but he could also take the opportunity to spread the power of darkness to different dimensions, but Rayleigh was trying to steal his job. Still grab it. Dormammu immediately changed the attack target and launched an attack on Rayleigh with all his strength. A terrifying energy shock hit Rayleigh, and towering black thorns emerged out of thin air, trying to pierce Rayleigh's body. In a hurry. The woman who wants to touch me, have you asked me? Yake urged the power gem to absorb all the attacks one by one and return them all to Dormammu's blurred face. Damn reptile, you p******* me off. Dormammu's face changed in the void, and the purple evil eyes stood up high, showing the master's anger at the moment. Two planets hung in the sky and fell down suddenly. Yake and Robin looked at each other and controlled one of them respectively. An asteroid to neutralize Dormammu's attack. It's useless, just come to my side to be presumptuous, you have to be prepared to be killed. Now, die to me. In the Dark Dimension, Dormammu is the only true god, and he can freely control everything here, even a small stone far away from the edge of the dimension. The planet with the combat power of the three directly swallowed them. Everything was so fast, and everything returned to calm, but a burst of purple impact shattered the planet. Yake withdrew his right hand without changing his face, and he was blocking Rayleigh's ahead. As expected of the demon god of the Dark Dimension, Yake has never seen this kind of strength before. This is definitely the strongest opponent he has ever encountered. There is no one. How to eliminate Dormammu is still unclear. Looking at Rayleigh who was still absorbing Dormammu's origin, Yake gradually realized that Robin's goal was never to destroy Dormammu, she wanted to weaken Dormammu's power. As long as the time loop is still there, Rayleigh can always draw on Dormammu's power. Yake, continue, try to buy time for Rayleigh, now Rayleigh's power is not enough for her to shape a god body. Understood, I will try my best, besides, we have this, don't we? Yake raised his right hand with a smile, the green ring on it was clearly visible, the tense atmosphere was swept away, and Robin also laughed. Advertisement, yeah, that's right, we will never lose, it depends on how long Dormammu can last. Robin summoned a magic circle and continued to apply defenses to Rayleigh to protect her from being disturbed by Dormammu. Damn, what do you want to do? Dormammu's angry voice resounded through the space. When he felt his power disappear little by little and never come back, he panicked. Although the loss of power was less than 1/10,000th, it was his for the first time since becoming the ruler of the Dark Dimension. Green magic flames ignited on Dormammu's body, and evil eyes stared at Rayleigh, as if trying to see through her. Dormammu, what's the matter, are you scared? Dormammu was in a daze, and Yake was also happy and leisurely. I understand, you want that woman to replace me, ha ha ha, how naive, I will crush you one by one, make you slaves of darkness, I want you to be my puppets. Dormammu laughed back angrily, he has already seen Rayleigh's situation. She is so similar to her original self, and she fits the darkness so well. It's just that she came a little earlier, otherwise Rayleigh would only need to step into the Dark Dimension. Like him, she will directly become the Master of Darkness. Especially you, shameless mage, I have plotted against Gui, and you actually came in front of me and shouted, forget it, go to hell. Dormammu launched an attack without warning, and the overwhelming magical flames enveloped the three of them. Yake and Robin turned into elements one after another, so as not to be eroded by the magical flames, and counterattacked with the power of the Thunder Dimension and the Ice Dimension. No wonder you dared to come here. You are also the Lord of Dimensions, but you are too young. the power of darkness is the strongest. The eyes of the three of Yake went dark, and the time loop circle was activated silently, and the three regained consciousness. Dormammu. Come out. Who? It's you. Gui's disciple dared to come to my territory, courting death. What's going on? Was it a hallucination just now? Impossible. After Dormammu finished speaking, he felt something was wrong. He was a little confused about what was going on. Didn't he just use dark magic to kill all three of them? Why are you back again? Dormammu's strength has surpassed time and space, and the time loop has no effect on him, but in this way he has nothing to do with Yake and the others. As long as he kills them, everything will start again, but his power is in the same place. Disappear little by little. Advertisement. F***KU. Dormammu, Lousy is here to kill you. Yake breathed out the fragrance directly, wiped honey on his small mouth, and seeing Dormammu as if he had seen them, Yake knew that they had failed once, and Yake directly launched an attack with all his strength. Fortunately, I saved the file before fighting the boss, otherwise it would be gone. Reiju, do your own thing, I'll buy you time. Robin applied a defensive circle to Reiju as usual, and Reiju also used ether particles to create an enchantment, so that he could absorb energy. Reiju felt a little strange when he began to absorb energy, as if he had already absorbed part of it. Damn ants, I will crush you, and your world will become a part of me. Dormammu spits out a purple energy breath, which is doubled and returned by Yake's one-by-one absorption. Dormammu's face was blasted with a big hole, but he recovered after a few breaths, but he was even more angry. You all must die. Dormammu. Come out. Who? It's you. Gui's disciple dared to come to my territory, courting death. Damn it, what's going on? Why can't you kill me? Dormammu was a little tired. These people are here to find fault, and they will take away his power without saying anything, and they are hard to kill. Huh? Was he killed again? Strange, why did I say again? Yake glanced at Robin helplessly, and Robin was suspended in front of Dormammu. Dormam, we're here to negotiate terms with you. Haunting spirits linger, die to me, 271, fleeing 5th cycle. Dormam, we're here to negotiate terms with you. There was only a deep silence in response to Robin. Yake looked back at Reiju and let Reiju take the opportunity to absorb Dormammu's energy. Seeing that Reiju began to absorb energy, Dormammu couldn't sit still. He had lost nearly 0.06% of his power after only 4 cycles, and he lost more power each time because of the time Yake and Reiju could last. It was getting longer and longer, and he was unable to kill them, almost exhausted all methods. Stop, damn it, since I can't kill you, then I will torture you and let you sink into endless suffering. Although Yake didn't know what happened, but he must have been killed by Dormammu, why not take the opportunity to familiarize himself with his own power? Robin also had a similar idea. As the Master of Dimensions, they were too different from Dormammu. Although he has never devoured a planet, and his body size cannot keep up with Dormammu, he will admit it, but he can learn about other aspects. Yake yelled at Robin. Robin, block for me for a while, I want to try the power of dimension. Well, I'll do my best. Robin soared into the sky and summoned countless golden chains to entangle Dormammu. Dormammu was shocked. Why did his skills differ every time he hit him? His skill pool is almost exhausted. But this didn't help Dormammu. It didn't take much effort for Dormammu to break free from the chain, and the black thorns shot all over the sky. There was nowhere to hide, so he could only summon a shield to resist. Hurry up. Kong Muang. Yake communicated with the Thunder Dimension in his mind, but only got a little response. Seeing that Robin was gradually falling into a disadvantage, Yake couldn't help but feel a little anxious. Although he knew that the time cycle could be restarted, the pain before death was unavoidable, and I can't recall how many times I or Robin Reiju have died. Come out. Yake roared loudly. A gap opened in the dark dimension, and the billowing thunder light came to the strange dimension through the gap, illuminating the darkness. Plane projection. How is it possible? How did you do it? There was horror in Dormammu's eyes. He swallowed nearly 10 planets before he mastered the ability of plane projection, projecting direct dimensions into the multiverse, conquering more planets, and gaining supreme power. However, how long have they been the masters of the dimension? I'm afraid there is not even a year. Feelings are for them to level up? Planar projection. This name is too good. Robin, replace me, try it too. Advertisement. With the support of Thunder Dimension, Yake fought inextricably with Dormammu for a while, and the level of the battle was raised to the level of Dimension War. Enough. Dormammu was angry, and the space suddenly fell into boundless darkness. Yake's plane projection was crumbling, and Yake couldn't help but increase his strength, otherwise he would die again. Don't think that you were complacent after learning a little trick. My strength is beyond your imagination. Dark. Yake's plane projection collapsed in an instant, and the whole person froze. The darkness spread all over the body, and the eye sockets gradually turned black. Dormammu was capturing Yake's mind, trying to turn Yake into his believer. Let's sink. Let's sink. Fall. Fall. Follow me. Become eternity. Yake clenched his fists and struggled hard. The purple energy gradually filled his whole body, swallowing the dark forces one by one. Are you kidding me? Who do you think I am? Break it for me. Yake's eyes regained clarity, and his smart IQ took over the high ground again, and he became more energetic. Robin breathed a sigh of relief. She was just about to help Yake get rid of Dormammu's branding ceremony, but Yake didn't sink. Thinking of this, Robin couldn't help but sigh with emotion. He obviously didn't have the ability to protect the mind, but he could resist Dormammu's mind erosion. Damn it, how is it possible for a reckless man? Seeing Dormammu's exasperated look, Yake couldn't help but put his hands on his hips, but he was so awesome that he almost knelt down to Dormammu just now, but fortunately he woke up in time. Don't be complacent, Dormammu struck again, 100th cycle. Advertisement, Dormammu, get out, yeah honey, we won. Tell me, what are your conditions? Dormammu trembled and pointed at Rayleigh, who was swaying directly, with a trace of grief and anger in his tone. Yake looked at Dormammu, who disappeared without a trace, and couldn't help being a little puzzled. He was in the time loop and didn't realize how much he had suffered and how many times he had died to get this result. Dormammu sighed. He was really tired, and this kid was getting more and more rude. He didn't want to admit defeat, but his energy was decreasing bit by bit. Compared to just now, his strength had dropped 10%. The source of darkness can only be reduced by 90%. Yake and Robin looked at each other strangely, as if to say, what the hell did we do to him? Dormammu is so cowardly? Yake, wait a minute, Dormammu, we are here to negotiate terms with you. As soon as Dormammu said this, Yake was a little strange. He was just about to do it. How many times has this happened? Dormammu is actually ready to compromise. How annoying he must be. The divine deed has been completed, and Dormammu is a decent person. Since he has said so, he will not return. He glanced at Rayleigh bitterly, and left this universe with the dimension. Tilde well, is this the end? Robin signaled Yake not to talk, because she noticed that Dormammu didn't seem to be emotional, so she wanted to try to talk to it. I, Dormammu, the ruler of the dimension, the Lord of Darkness, once again signed a contract with you to remove the dark brand of the ancient mage, and leave this universe for eternity. Dormammu just wanted to refuse, but when he looked at Rayleigh, he couldn't help being a little complicated. Young people nowadays really don't talk about martial arts. Yake had already rolled up his sleeves, and Dormammu recalled the bad memories of the previous few times, and suddenly felt a little bit pained. No, he seemed to have no eggs. He can defeat Yake and others countless times, but he can't lose even once, and their strength is getting stronger and stronger, and he feels a little tricky. It's impossible. Remove the brand on GUE, leave this universe, and don't invade. Otherwise, we will continue to consume you until your energy is drained. I agree to your request, but can you tell her to stop smoking? Isn't it enough for her to shape a god body after absorbing so much energy from me? I don't want to lose face. 272. Supreme Mage Robin Dormammu is gone, and there is no trace of him in the Marvel Universe. Rayleigh came out from the protection of ether particles with a dazed expression. He was absorbing energy just now, but suddenly disconnected. Is it so fast? Rayleigh came to Yake and Robin. What happened? We won. Dormammu escaped lol. Robin, what's going on? Yake looked at Rayleigh as if he had seen a ghost. Is this the Rayleigh he knew? The skin of the whole body has become extremely deep. In simple terms, it has become black skin, but the foundation is still there, but it means that Rayleigh's dark energy absorption is very full. No wonder Dormammu is in a hurry to escape. Otherwise, his power will really be emptied by Rayleigh. Rayleigh also noticed his abnormality at this time, and quickly covered his face. No, don't look at me. What's wrong with me? Robin, help me. After Rayleigh discovered the change in herself, she dared not face Yake at all. After all, she was just a woman. Even though she was powerful, she was still like a little girl in front of her beloved, for fear that Yake would dislike herself because of her appearance. Rayleigh, look at what you said. No matter what you become, I love you. Robin must have a way, then you will be just like us. Yake hugged Rayleigh a little funny, saying that this appearance seems to be a bit of a thing, and I can only say that Yake's XP is free. What's wrong with a man perverting a little? Don't panic, it's just that the energy is overflowing. Rayleigh, I will help you shape the god body. Robin began to cast the magic circle, and countless rune circles emerged from Rayleigh. Rayleigh, control your energy. Don't feel that they're your burden. Accept them. Assimilate them. Rayleigh followed Robin's method. The blackness of the body gradually faded, revealing the original color, and the skin became more crystal clear. With the sudden eruption of the black mist, a mass of dense dark energy was expelled from Rayleigh's body. Advertisement. This is Dormammu's will. He really saved his hand. Unfortunately, I have been prepared for a long time. Without saying a word, Yake directly absorbed it with the power gem, annihilated Dormammu's will, and then released it for Rayleigh to absorb. This is not a waste. After absorbing this mass of energy, the space behind Rayleigh became illusory, and black runes appeared on Rayleigh's body, printed on the body, like a tattoo, with a different kind of beauty. Shaping is done. Rayleigh, how are you feeling? Rayleigh looked at his hands and observed his body. I've never felt so good. Is this the body of a god? Yake said with a smile. Yes, we all have eternal life, an indestructible body, and we will all become eternal. Yake caressed Rayleigh's cheek with his right hand, and fixed his eyes on Rayleigh's eyes, but Rayleigh was a little shy and didn't dare to look directly into Yake's eyes. Robin couldn't stand it anymore. Ahem, it's almost done, let's go back. A circle of flames dazzled, and the portal to Karmatage was opened. GUE was already waiting for them on the other side. Teacher, how do you feel? Has Dormammu's brand been cleared? Robin walked through the portal and came to GUE's side, carefully checking for Dormammu's energy residue. Don't look at it, it's gone. I don't know my own situation. Sure enough, I read you right, Robin, Mr. Yake, Miss Rayleigh, thank you for your feat. GUE leaned down to thank Yake and others, but Yake felt a little uncomfortable. Teacher, now you. Advertisement. Robin hesitated to speak, but she couldn't say what she wanted to say. She could naturally feel GUE's seriousness and responsibility, which reminded her of O'Hara's professors back then, and they were the same. Haha, I will probably die like a normal person. I have lived for too long, and I finally have a chance to rest. Robin, from today onwards, you are the supreme mage, and you will lead all mages to protect the earth, and I will also tell your stories to those old friends, so that you will have much less trouble. Jiu Yi was in a very good mood, and generously handed over the position of the supreme mage to Robin. This was not enough. She called all the mages and publicly announced that Robin would become the new supreme mage. Most of the mages recognized Robin's strength and quality, and only a few people felt that Robin was not worthy of the position of supreme mage. Yake looked at Cassius in the crowd playfully, and his future masters were all advanced by them. Driven away, would he still dare to rebel? What happened next? Jiu Yi did not tell Yake and others that she had announced to the universe that the new supreme mage Robin had succeeded her, and spread the story of Yake Robin Reiju's repelling Dormammu to all parts of the universe. In this place, Jiu Yi's prestige has already resounded throughout the universe, so what she said is naturally extremely credible. Robin, Yake, and Reiju are also well-known figures in the universe. People who are cautious about the Earth have to weigh it before invading the Earth. Robin, the person involved, didn't feel anything. After repelling Dormammu, she felt that her strength had improved by leaps and bounds. The newly developed skills one after another always felt as if she would have it. She also roughly guessed that it was temporarily mastered in the time loop ability. The situation on Yake's side is a bit delicate. He and Reiju have returned to the life of ordinary people. Reiju is not a mage and cannot live in Karmatage for a long time. As one of the real wives, she naturally lives with Yake and becomes May neighbors. Yake, this is. May just wanted to send the dinner to Yake's room, but found that the person who opened the door was a strange woman, and she was very beautiful, especially with her full chest, which made her feel ashamed, and her temperament was also similar to Yake's. Similar, as if they were a match made in heaven, she felt very uncomfortable. May knew that she couldn't compete with these young girls, but she didn't expect this day to come so soon, and they had already moved into Yake's house, so she would never be able to own Yake again. She is. Jacques was a little bit numb and at a loss. May really had nothing to say to him. Jacques racked his brains to figure out how to explain it. Finally, he was going to tell the truth. He was always honest. But Reiju has already come out, took Yake's hand and said to May. Are you May? Hello, I'm Vinsmoke Reiju. You can call me Reiju. I'm Yake's wife. 274. Multiverse. Yake looked at the gold ring next to the note and smiled without saying a word. Unexpectedly, Robin was able to make a ring that can travel to different worlds. Is he starting an infinite flow? Yake put the special hanging ring into the storage bar, but then, Yake looked at himself on the computer screen, and thought of a sentence inexplicably in his heart. Do you want to know the meaning of life? Do you want to, really live? Yake kept echoing these words in his mind, and took out the hanging ring from the storage bar again, rubbing the surface of the ring unconsciously with his hands. In the next second, Yake went directly through the portal to another world. Hey, I'm not ready yet. Yake came to a desolate wilderness, looking at the hanging ring in his hand. He was speechless. Isn't this too unreliable? According to Robin, this hanging ring stores Robin's solidified spell, the Gate of Time and Space. Every time it is opened, it will directly send the holder to a random world. If you want to go back, you can inject energy into it. Hey Tilda, what kind of place is this? There's no one there. If it comes, it will be safe. Anyway, Yake has nothing to fear. There seems to be someone over there. Yake saw a figure in the distance with his naked eyes, but it was strange that he couldn't feel the breath of a living person, and the decoration looked like a farmer. Yake teleported directly to his side, and a stench hit him. Yake covered his nose in disgust. Although it didn't affect him, his psychology hadn't changed yet. Hey, brother, you know this is F*K, zombies? As soon as the man turned his head, Yake was horrified. He probably knew what world he had come to. This world was safe. To him, it was like a playground. This is a desert area. If he guessed correctly, it is very likely to be the world of Resident Evil. Fortunately, it is relatively safe here. After seeing Yake, the zombies rushed towards Yake viciously. The speed was extremely fast, and there was a fishy wind in his mouth. Yake didn't have a trace of fear in his heart, but was a little excited. Thunderbolt torrent. The plasma in the sky instantly engulfed the zombies, turning them into residues all over the place. It's boring. Find a place with a lot of zombies to play. Yake soared into the sky and walked along the road. The clear sky was gradually shrouded in dark clouds, and the thundersnake surged. Convoy. Living people. Advertisement. Yake saw a convoy in front of him. The vehicle was modified pretty well. The sharp weapon for killing zombies just looked a little disgusting. Yake had never seen such a stinky scene. Boom. Damn it. What is it? All on alert. Claire yelled on the radio, and the drivers of the convoy stepped on the brakes one after another. The road ahead was covered with smoke and dust, and it seemed that there was still a surge of electricity, so they dared not move forward easily. In the last days, any unexpected situation must be dealt with carefully. The most valuable thing is human life, and the least valuable thing is human life. Carlos, Claire and the others took up their weapons, killed a few nearby zombies, and walked towards the center of the smoke surrounded. Anyone, please answer. Claire, are you crazy? Can this kind of movement be made by humans? The smoke and dust gradually dissipated, and Yake's tall figure stood in the center of the road, but he couldn't see his face clearly. Claire's complexion changed. This height reminded her of bad memories. It's a tyrant. Fuck. The Umbrella Man is really haunted. Attack. The others launched an attack without hesitation and shot at Yake, but they only heard the sound of clanging. Yake buckled a bullet stuck on his eyelid, threw it aside, waved his hand lightly, all the smoke and dust dispersed, and Yake finally showed Lucian's true colors. Cease fire. What the hell is this thing? Humans? Zombies? Yake smiled slightly. Don't be nervous, I'm just a passerby who came here accidentally, I just want to ask you something. Stop. Don't get any closer, put your hands on your head. Claire pointed a pistol at Yake, looking nervous, but Yake didn't stop at all. Her hand was already on the trigger, but Carlos had already shot first. Clang tilde. Yake reached out and grabbed the bullet, martial arts in the world, so as not to break it quickly, ahem, it was strung together. You wouldn't live for a second if I tried to kill you, so why not talk about it? Yake blew into his palm, and the brass-colored bullet fell on the road with a crisp sound. Claire couldn't help swallowing. Although she was handsome, it was a bit beyond her understanding. As the saying goes, people die when they're killed, and bullets can easily achieve this goal, but this person is obviously different, he is completely different, like a person. I'm Yake, how about you? Advertisement, my Claire, I'm Carlos. Claire and Carlos looked like the leaders of this survivor team, while the others were silent, still on guard against Yake. Are you a survivor? Me? I'm a traveler, I'm from another world, or you can call me, an alien? Yake took out a valuable cigar from the storage bar and put it in his mouth, but he didn't light it, hey, just for fun. Damn it, I believe it. After hearing what Yake said, Claire complained after all that she had a beautiful life, but the arrival of the end of the world broke it all. Claire jumped out of the car, and Yake naturally followed, lamenting the desolation of the last days, especially the desert, which is desolate, with no water, no food, and zombies everywhere. Can you give me a ride? Thank you, you decide? So, you came to this world by accident? Are you not from Earth? Claire looked at the cigar in Yake's mouth and couldn't help being a little greedy. She was looking for cigarettes everywhere just now. Need a gun for self-defense? Yake told them some information without hesitation. Anyway, he didn't have a main god. He was just an ordinary traveler, whatever he wanted to say. Claire, there's a motel up ahead, but there seems to be no one there, shall we go in? What do you believe? He is an alien, I don't think I'm surprised what happens in this world, what do you want to ask? No need, I am the strongest weapon. Claire held out her hand, holding a Glock pistol, which seemed to be in good condition. To be precise, I come from another universe, Earth, but we haven't encountered such a thing like you. Damn it, it's not fair, the Umbrella Man is damned. Yake came to the car in the next second, knocked on the glass, and signaled them to get in the car. 275. Garden of the End times. Yake slightly sensed the hotel not far away. There are 3 zombies in there, they have to be careful. Yake stretched his waist and spoke lazily. The virus here is completely ineffective for him. The world is indeed a little more comfortable. How do you know? I just know. Okay, Carlos, LJ, pay attention, our alien friends said that there are 3 zombies in this hotel, please pay attention. Claire still chooses to believe in Yake, no matter what, it is always right to be careful. Receive. Carlos glanced at LJ, and LJ raised the golden desert eagle in his hand with a smile on his face. With Yake's reminder, LJ kept an eye out. Although he was still jumped in the face by the zombies, he was lucky not to be bitten, otherwise he would cheat his teammates again. In the last days, pig teammates are more terrifying than zombies. Do you usually collect supplies like this? Yake ate watermelon with a spoon, leaned comfortably on the deck chair, and there was a parasol beside him. Compared with the dusty survivors like them, he was on vacation. Well, how do you have? Fresh fruit? Claire saw the saliva secretion of the watermelon in Yake's hand. She didn't know how long it had been since the damn end of the world, but she was even more curious about how Yake got it. Business secrets, no comment, if you want to eat, I can share. Jacques looked at more than half of the watermelon left, quickly playing 2 more bites, and then handed it to Claire. He didn't have the gentlemanly demeanor of the past at all, and looked more like a straight steel man who didn't understand the style. Claire couldn't control that much, she grabbed the bright red flesh and put it in her mouth to taste carefully, and finally even ate a lot of melon skin. Sorry, I lost my composure, Claire couldn't help being a little shy when she thought of how she was wolfing down just now, but she also had a straightforward temperament, and she quickly recovered. A black woman pointed to Yake and said to the white girl beside her, Hey, Matt, what do you think of him? Advertisement, that alien named Yake. I don't know, he is very mysterious, I feel that he is out of tune with the atmosphere of this world. If he is not a bit special, this kind of person would be the first to die before the crisis broke out. Maybe, how about it? Do you want to have a relationship with an alien? I remember you are still a chick, ha ha ha. Shut your mouth, you be ********************************************** Hasn't LJ confessed to you yet? So idle. Betty smiled without saying a word, and pushed Matt to Yake's side. Hey, I'm Betty, this beauty is Matt, nice to meet you. Yake opened his eyes impatiently, took out 2 Russian sausages from the storage rack and threw them to them. I'm sleeping, don't bother me. The 2 ate in front of Yake, but they actually got the food, which surprised them. In the last days, the importance of food is self-evident, especially this kind of high-calorie and high-protein sausage. They benefited and left wisely, warning others not to disturb Yake, and they can have extra meals tonight, and maybe they can do something else. It wasn't until the evening that someone woke up Yake. Yake yawned. I don't know why he felt a little sleepy in this world. I don't know if it was because of the suspension of the ring, but it didn't affect much. Claire, what's wrong? We're all going back to the car for the night, and seeing you're still outside, so. Oh, thank you, don't worry, I naturally have a place to live. Yake took out the eternal truth while talking, and the huge steel battleship suddenly appeared in the desert, but it did not land on the ground, but was suspended in the air. Good night. Yake flew on the eternal truth and squeezed into the car to sleep. Impossible? Monkey Rex said. What kind of fog is this? Is it a battleship from the last century? Carlos, who had a bit of ink in his stomach, looked at the eternal truth suspended in the air in shock, and wiped honey on his small mouth. I don't think he's an alien, he's like God, the black brother LJ silently prayed towards the sky. Fact squid. Carlos raised his middle finger. Advertisement. After a night of nothing, Yake was woken up by a scream the next day. Yake took back the eternal truth and found that something seemed wrong. The telegraph poles around the desert hotel were full of crows, staring at the prey on the car. The people in the motorcade also woke up one after another, looking at the surrounding situation through the gaps in the car windows in fear. Yake raised his hands high, and the thunder spread out with Yake as the center, and the overwhelming zombie crows turned into coke in the next second. An illusory little loli in white clothes floated in the air, reporting to a man with a blank expression. Yake slowly flew up in their horrified eyes, and the thundersnake was entangled with Yake's body. At this moment, it was like a god. From now on, accept the baptism of thunder, Dr. Isaac, strong electromagnetic fluctuations have been detected. At this moment, Yake seems to understand Robin's intentions, or she is encouraging Yake to become stronger in another way, because one of the ways for the Lord of Dimensions to become stronger is to constantly devour the origin of the planet, make it part of your own dimension. Claire yelled in the car, but Yake seemed to have never heard of it, and she still habitually regarded Yake as an ordinary person. Yake landed on the ground, and the weather returned to clear, as if nothing had happened just now, only the black ash all over the ground proved that it was not an illusion just now. What happened to those crows? Something seems wrong. In the distant desert, Alice witnessed everything just now. She was just about to save someone, and she froze in place. Is there really a god in this world? Or, someone like her? Seeing this scene, a bold idea suddenly sprouted in Yake's mind. The world is on the verge of destruction. If he merges this world into his thunder dimension, then... Wan Lei. My lord. The black LJ knelt down in the direction of Yake and saluted. If there is a god, he believes that he must look exactly like Yake. They ate the corpses of infected people. These crows are zombie crows. Go and keep quiet. Mr. Yake, come in. If you don't run, it will be too late. The sky suddenly darkened. It wasn't Yake who was calling the thunder, but all the zombie crows soared into the sky, covering the clouds and the sun. The huge number made people feel desperate. All the zombie crows rushed to Yake without hesitation, shouting loudly. 276. Believers of Thunder and Umbrella Underground Base in the middle of the desert. After hearing Queen Bai's prompt, Dr. Isaac immediately issued an order. Use the triangulation method to confirm whether it is Alice's act, or is it someone else. Desert Inn. Yake patted the black ash on his body, and his body was immediately clean and new. Yake squinted his eyes and looked into the distance. There was a person peeping at him. If he remembered the name correctly, it should be Alice, the protagonist of this world. Claire and others came to Yake one after another, looking at everything around him in disbelief, and there were many fanatics among them. If they had such abilities, they would be afraid of the zombies. You, what is your purpose? Claire kept a distance from Yake, and tentatively expressed her doubts. This world needs redemption. Most of the intelligent creatures have turned into the living dead. The living are struggling desperately. Do you want to change this world? Yake smiled and said, no matter whether they agreed or not, he had already regarded this place as his territory by default. Don't talk? It's okay. Thunder will tell you everything. Become a believer in thunder. Yake raised his right hand high and summoned a plane projection. A corner of the Thunder Nebula permeated the world. Tens of thousands of thunder elves surrounded Yake, and even the scorching sun could not overshadow the thunder around Yake. Believe in thunder. I will give you the power of destruction. Purge this world. Let Lei Ting's faith resound throughout the world. After Yake finished speaking, Claire and others knelt down to pay respects to Yake. Go, children, the world needs you. Seeing the people kneeling down, Yake stretched out his fingers to them, and the thunder elves around them poured into their bodies respectively. Those who respect Yake more got more thunder spirits, and the stronger the power they gained. To Yake's surprise, the black LJ turned out to be the most fanatical believer. A dozen or so thunder elves chose to live in his body, endowing him with the power of thunder. In just 10 seconds, the survival team of more than 30 people had an earth-shaking change. The thunder came here unscrupulously, and the majesty of the thunder officially descended. Advertisement, go. My believers, go spread the belief of thunder. There was fanaticism in L.G.'s eyes. We will surely spread the glory of the Lord of Thunder all over the earth. Yake had already disappeared, and the people present felt lost and remorseful. Why didn't they say a few words to God before? Claire, this is... Hey, let's be safe now that it's here. After all, it's a god. Claire clenched her fist, and the lightning surged above it. This is unprecedented power, the power of a god. Claire and the others continued to set off. Killing zombies after gaining the power given by Yake is just like playing. Children can use the power of thunder to kill zombies, which makes them believe in Yake even more. L.J.'s power is the strongest, because his belief in Yake is the most fanatical, which makes them firmly believe that as long as they believe in Yake, they will become stronger. Damn it. What's the matter with this group of people? Why do they all use Thunderbolt? Isaac looked at Claire and the others who were killing all directions, and his tone was full of horror. They were obviously just a group of struggling ordinary people before, and it took a lot of effort to kill a few zombies. Dr. Isaac, I suggest looking at this. The White Queen began to broadcast images from space, images captured by Umbrella's satellites. Yake stood in front of the satellite, just to let the people with the umbrella see him. Next, he wanted to try to make the Thunder Nebula bring this Earth into the Thunder Dimension. Shit. How did this person do it? Could it be that he is a god? Yake took a deep breath, communicated with the Thunder Nebula, and let it come to this world completely. Soon, the Earth was surrounded by a blue-purple nebula, and thunder began to rain frequently from all over the world, and Yake's voice reached the ears of every survivor. My name is Yake, the Lord of Thunder, the ruler of the Thunder Dimension, the God of Thunder. Call on my name, and I will bestow upon you the divine power of thunder. Spread the faith of thunder. N. In Tokyo, a girl looked desperately at the zombies approaching her, but she kept thinking about Yake's oracle in her mind. At this moment, she couldn't care so much and silently called Yake's name in her heart. Advertisement. So, Robin, what are you? Wait, I'm a little out of breath. Yake returned to the Earth again and found that the zombies were gone. Instead, his god statues were erected everywhere, and there were countless humanoid elemental beings worshipping around him. This is no longer suitable for normal human existence. Yake, it seems that you have completed a trip. How do you feel? Honey, that's what I'm worried about. Fortunately, you came to your senses in time. The path of pursuing power is endless. Devouring the world and absorbing faith is the fastest and most convenient path, but the power gained in this way is not pure, even a burden, unless you are willing to be like Dormammu. Claire and others, who had already been blessed by Yake, looked at the sky. They felt that the climate of this world was becoming more and more suitable for their survival, and the body seemed not so important anymore. Robin and Rayleigh suddenly appeared in the room, smiling and sitting beside Yake. God Yake has come. God Yake, damn, it seems a little too big? Yake rubbed the face of the hanging ring and returned to his own room in the Marvel Universe. Robin hugged Yake's head and said earnestly, as if he had guessed this situation a long time ago. This facial cleanser is a bit too heavy. Looking at the believers who were about to flock to him, Yake was a little scared and left directly. The survivors struggling in the apocalypse seem to have grasped the life-saving straw. As long as they are willing to believe in Yak, they can gain the power of thunder, but only those who truly believe in Yak can gain the approval of Thunder Spirit. Yake put his arms around Robin and Rayleigh and told them everything he did in the Resident Evil world. It's not good. I don't know whether my actions are right or wrong. Yake waited tediously for 2 days. When the Earth began to flash blue light frequently, he knew that the time was almost up. Yake suddenly felt a little stronger, and his body was full of energy. Yake was almost lost in the pleasure of this rapid increase in power, but he woke up at the last moment. Earth is cracked all over the blue. The concentration of the thunder element keeps rising, and all the believers boarded by the Thunder Elves are also transformed into elemental life, gaining eternity, and the Earth is naturally included in the Thunder Nebula, becoming a part of the Thunder Dimension. 277. The origin of the world. Robin saw Yake's doubts, and outlined the appearance of the planet with his hands. The intelligent planet in the multiverse will give birth to the origin of the planet, also known as the origin of the world. Obtaining its power like a sucker is equivalent to enslaving the whole world, and can only slowly erode its power. At the beginning, the power increased quickly, but the more planets enslaved, the heavier the burden. I want to quickly digest these energy, can only keep devouring the planet to get more energy, thus forming a vicious circle. Fortunately, the world you devoured has come to an end, and the source is almost exhausted, so it doesn't have much impact. Yake probably understood what Robin meant. It is not good to simply and rudely take the world into his own dimension. There must be a better way to listen to Robin. The way for mages to gain power is to travel, gain knowledge, strengthen their own spells, or participate in the process of the world, so that the world can develop, disrupt the world, and make the world decline. You can get the source from it. But we generally don't interfere with the development of the world. We are more of a bystander. Knowledge is the source of a mage's power, but you are different, so I recommend you to use the second method. Yake lowered his head and pondered. Robin's words were very inspiring to him. In fact, both the first method and the second method are advisable to him. Since it has become eternal, the steady growth of strength is the right way. I see, but I have a question. Why can I freely travel back and forth in the multiverse, but our world cannot go back? The more Yake thought about it, the more he felt that something was wrong. Could it be that Yi was lying to himself? No way. Our world has different dimensions. Robin only had one short sentence, and only Yi and herself knew it. If it wasn't for the special dimensional anchor point opened by Yake, they would never have come to this universe. The specific reason is that I am looking for it. Yi seems to know it, but he doesn't know it. Did not tell her. All right, Yake sighed. He probably had some guesses, but they were just guesses. Maybe only after Yake got all the infinite gems and lifted his own restrictions, would it be possible to travel freely to and from any universe. Yake curiously pulled Robin and Rayleigh to sit beside him. Rayleigh, Robin, what have you been doing lately? We are looking for the whereabouts of the Soul Gem. Robin predicted that the Soul Gem will appear on the Earth 2 years later, and it will appear together with the Rubik's Cube, but the whereabouts of the Soul Gem is still unknown. Robin took Rayleigh's words. So, Rayleigh and I have been looking for an alien named Gamora. I heard that she knows the location of the Soul Gem, but she hides relatively deep, and there has been no news. Advertisement. Yake nodded. Gamora did know the news about the Soul Gem. As far as he knew, the Soul Gem was more evil and would only appear if sacrificed. Even if he found it, Yake would not be willing to sacrifice his most cherished people. Soul gem. You should look for it first. If you can't find it, don't force it. As long as everyone can reunite in this world, 5 gems are enough. Yake patted the shoulders of the 2 women, but Robin Reiju seemed to have misunderstood something. He disarmed one after another, pushing Yake back, which had already formed a habit. The next day, Yake sent Peter to school. If he was still on the earth, he would usually pick Peter up and drop off from school, pick up May from get off work when he had nothing to do, and occasionally go to make an appointment with Daisy, make a phone call. Seeing that Yake's state is not quite right these days, May couldn't help asking, Yake, are you going to the universe again? Go out for a few days, treat it as a trip, don't miss me too much haha. Yake put his arms around May and kissed her hard on the face. That's right, he was going to use the suspension ring again. Now the earth is too peaceful, and if he doesn't go out to play, his body will feel rusty. So, shall we do it again? May tentatively asked. Since her body became younger, her desire has become stronger, and she wished to stick with Yake every day. Meeting the fiercest Yake at the fiercest age is really a bit boring. The corner of Yake's mouth raised slightly. Mortal, you are provoking me. This world seems a little different. Yake stepped on the thick layer of snow. This is the country of ice and snow. Looking around, it is all pale. The most important thing is that this world is full of strong elemental power. What can be clearly felt at present is the power of the ice element, strength. Crack, click. Yake was walking on the snow in a long robe, looking into the distance, and he could vaguely see lights in front of him, which seemed to be a town. Come on dog tilde, come on dog tilde tilde tilde. Yake shook his head, thinking that he was hallucinating. Why are people still singing? Although he sang well, the singing became clearer and clearer. Yake knew that it was not an illusion, but a real person. Advertisement. Yake flew into the sky and found a girl in green clothes, wearing a long purple cloak, walking towards the top of the mountain with 3 steps, singing while walking. The girl sang, Ladygoo, while blowing snowflakes. Yake's vague impression gradually became clear. This is not that who, Ace is wrong, Princess Aisha. Frozen. It's outrageous. Aisha is a little sad now. Her power is out of control again, which has brought a lot of trouble to others, and even turned the entire kingdom of Arendelle into a world of ice and snow. She doesn't want to see anyone anymore, and this is her fate. Amidst the beautiful singing, an ice and snow castle rose from the ground. Pay attention to see that her ice and snow magic skills are quite good. Elsa stood on the balcony and sang loudly. Under the sun. Let the wind blow and rain, I'm not afraid of the ice and snow anyway. At this time, the wind and snow stopped, and the sun rose, and the first ray of sunlight shone on Aisha's face, heralding her new life. Aisha slammed the door shut, only to find a 2-meter-tall man in a white robe standing in the center of the castle she created, looking at her silently. Ah! Who are you? Aisha screamed in shock and used ice and snow magic on Yake in a panic. The extremely cold air instantly froze Yake, and Yake became an ice sculpture. Ah, sorry, I didn't mean to, I'm so sorry. Aisha looked at her hands annoyed. What happened to her today? And hurt an innocent person again. Just when Aisha was secretly sad, the ice sculpture began to shake. Crack tilde crack tilde. Aisha noticed the abnormality of the ice sculpture and retreated slowly, very vigilant. Boom. The ice sculpture exploded completely, the ice fragments scattered, and Yake exhaled a breath of heat. Your singing voice is beautiful. 278. Frozen. Yake showed a handsome and sunny smile, but Elsa was scared back again and again. You, what do you want to do? Don't come here. Aisha's appearance made Yake a little depressed. Yake touched his face and took out a mirror from the storage bar. Impossible. I'm still so handsome, it must not be my problem. Yes. Aisha let down her guard a little after hearing what Jacques said. At least this tall man didn't have any malice towards her, and he was a little narcissistic. I'm Aisha. What's your name? Seeing Yake intact after being frozen by herself, Aisha was very curious. Her magic hurt her relatives when she used it for the first time, which made her hate her talent very much, and she seemed to be the only one with it, man of strength. For this reason, she grew up alone in order not to hurt other people, but this man who appeared suddenly seemed a little different. I am Yake, a traveler. I heard her singing suddenly, and all curiosity followed me. Please forgive me. It's okay. Anyway, by the way, aren't you cold? Aisha felt cold when she looked at Yake's thin robe. It's cold. Don't you see that the hair on my legs is almost freezing off? Yake lifted up the corner of his robe, revealing his sexy leg hair. Aisha couldn't help covering his forehead. This man is really full of words and silly, but he is not afraid of his ability, and she is even a little happy. Well, are you the same as me? What is the same as you? What are you talking about? Yake asked strangely. They were the same there, and said they were similar, but Aisha was a bit like Robin. Both of them could cast spells, and they were ice type. Well, like this? Aisha gritted her teeth and used her own magic. 2 ice swords appeared in the air, watching Yake's every move nervously, worried that he would be scared away by herself again. Advertisement. Oh, this, magic or spells? I don't know what to say. If that's the case, I'm similar to you, but I'm stronger. Yake waved his hand, and the thunder transformed into a shape, and 2 cute thunder beasts appeared beside him. If you look closely, you can see that it is a blue Pikachu, the kind that cannot be touched. Oh my god, that's awesome. You're awesome. Aisha was ecstatic, and she knew that she was not the only special person in this world. Jacques was obviously a person with special talents just like him, and maybe the two of them would have a common language. Well, would you like to sit down? Aisha released her magic, and a set of luxurious ice and snow furniture appeared in the center of the castle. Aisha sat down very ladylike, her demeanor and temperament were quite like a queen. What happened to you? I feel like you were a little unhappy. Yake sat down carelessly, without any manners at all. Being able to speak in a gentle manner was enough for him. Actually, oh, forget it, it's okay to tell you, I have been special since I was a child. When I lost control for the first time, I hurt my sister, and my parents died in the sea because they were looking for a cure for me. Just like others, as you said, I was born to be a disaster star. Are you talking about your ice magic? That is indeed an amazing talent, and it is too late for others to envy. My wife, Nico Robin, is exactly like you, and she can also use the power of ice. Yake took out a photo from the storage bar and handed it to Aisha. It was a photo of him and Robin. The thunder and ice complement each other beautifully. It's amazing. I can feel that she is just like me. Where is she now? Aisha looked at Robin in the photo with a dazed gaze, and suddenly thought that if she could live a normal life, then she must be able to teach herself. Maybe she would not have to be regarded as a monster by others. You mean Robin? She's out of this world. Yake shook his head. He didn't know where Robin was. He wasn't in this world anyway. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked you. Aisha hurriedly apologized to Yake. She seemed to think that Robin was dead, and at the same time she was a little sad. Is this ability really a curse? Cough, cough, cough. I said, are you delusional? Forget it. Advertisement. Yake doesn't want to explain too much. He can think whatever he likes, but unfortunately he is not a mage, so he doesn't know how Aisha's magic talent is. If possible, he would like to contact Robin to let her accept an apprentice, and strive to become the supreme as soon as possible mage, set Robin free. Goodbye. That's right, Aisha has become a proper tool person in his eyes. Her achievements may not be as good as Robin's, but she can also become the backbone of the mage, so that Robin can relax. Here, Anna met Han Kristoff, a poor country boy, and they went together to find Queen Aisha. My God! How can there be a ship here? Wandering Okun's store, and Asana. Seeing Yake drifting away, Aisha couldn't help asking, well, are we friends? The blizzard was raging, and it was impossible to tell whether it was day or night. Are you leaving? Goodbye. Along the way, after being chased by snow wolves, jumping over cliffs, and even meeting a talking snowman who called himself Shuibao, they finally came to the foot of Baishan Mountain where Aisha was. Yake put down his ship halfway up the mountain. The appearance of steel warships in this medieval-style world seems a bit abrupt, but the materials are just a little inconsistent. The overall shape of the Eternal Truth is still dominated by medieval sailing ships. Aisha, I'm a little sleepy, I'm going to find a place to sleep first. Yake waved his back to Aisha to say goodbye. Aisha just wanted to keep her, but thinking that she was a girl and the other party also had a wife, it was not very good after all. With the reality gem not around, Yake can only take out the ultimate magic weapon, the Eternal Truth, which has heating, hot water, and food, and consumes a Pikachu for 100 kilometers. Aisha, it's me, Anna, your sister didn't mean to force you, I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Yake looked back and smiled, showing his white teeth. Of course. Then Yake disappeared into the snow. Yake yawned tiredly. Every time he used the suspension ring, his mental power would be consumed. The result of excessive use of mental power is that he is prone to sleepiness, and if he rushes too much, he will. Aisha's younger sister rode up the mountain to look for her elder sister Aisha. No matter what, she had to find her sister back, otherwise Arendelle would be in eternal winter, the people would not get food, and the final end would be a dead end. 279. The favor of the world. Are you crazy? That's impossible. Anna kicked Kristoff angrily and continued to move forward, but Shui Bao pulled the corner of her clothes and pointed to the Eternal Truth lying halfway up the mountain. My eyes must be lying to me. Does Elsa have any new abilities? Anna covered her mouth and looked at the steel sailboat in the sky in shock. Your sister can turn Arendelle into eternal winter. It's not strange. Anyway, go and see first. Maybe your sister lives in this beautiful boat. The two and the reindeer moved on, and Shui Bao hurriedly followed, noting that the reindeer would eat his nose. After a lot of hard work, several people finally boarded the Eternal Truth. Knock knock knock. Is anyone there? I'm Anna. Elsa, are you inside? Yake, who was sleeping in the cabin room, woke up suddenly. He seemed to hear Anna's name. After getting dressed, Yake walked out of the cabin. Ah! Anna sat down on the deck in fright after seeing Yake, and Kristoff stood in front of Anna vigilantly. TCH, it turns out they have the same name and surname, but my Anna is much prettier than you. Yake looked at this Anna, who had a similar face to Aisha but a completely different temperament, and curled his lips. What's the matter with you? Sir, we are here to find Queen Aisha. If she is not here, we will leave immediately. Kristoff smiled and laughed, and he knew that Jake was not easy to mess with at a glance, so he pulled Anna away quickly, but what Jacques said next made them stop. Aisha? She's in the snow castle, are you going? I'm just going to see her. No matter how they resisted, Yake took the two of them back to the snow, and put the boat into the storage bar by the way. Advertisement. Anna's eyes were full of disbelief. My God, are you the same as Aisha? Almost, let's take you there first. Yake took out a gold ingot, turned it into a board, and took them directly to Aisha's castle after standing on it. Wow, this is amazing, I never thought that I would be able to fly one day. Shui Bao yelled happily, not afraid of Yake at all, and directly grabbed Yake's clothes and climbed onto his shoulders. Maybe this is social bullying syndrome. Yake smiled and said nothing. Ha ha ha, that's it, I haven't taken it seriously yet, stand still, I'm going to speed up. Surprise and excitement turned into fright and screaming. Shuibao hugged Yake's neck tightly and did not let go, while Anna threw herself into Kristoff's arms. Okay, it's here. Everyone opened their eyes, only to realize that they had arrived in a gorgeous ice and snow castle, but the gate was closed tightly, full of the atmosphere that strangers should not enter. Anna couldn't control that much, her sister was right in front of her eyes, and she directly opened the door. Yake stood outside the door, and he didn't want to disturb the sisters when they met, but started teasing Shuibao instead. Aisha's magic is really amazing. It can even give life to ice and snow, which is difficult for Robin to do. This ability can only be described as magic, but Yake can't contact Robin yet. He vaguely felt that the will of the world was taking care of Aisha, as long as he stayed by her side and waited for the development of the plot, he could get some source of escape from it. After waiting outside for a few minutes, the singing of the two sisters came, and Yake couldn't help covering his face. Isn't it, sir? This can also be sung. But soon the singing stopped, and Aisha's ability accidentally injured her sister again. She suppressed the grief in her heart and drove Anna and Shuibao and others who rushed in later out of her castle. It's weird. However, the snow monster perfectly ignored Yake standing aside. It only stared at Anna and the others. Yake secretly marveled that Aisha's creation not only had self-awareness, but also knew how to bully the weak and fear the hard. I don't know if it was controlled by Aisha. That's how you drove your sister away. Yake just walked into the castle and sat on a stool not far from Aisha. Now Aisha is very depressed. Why? My ability can't be controlled as freely as yours. I just hurt the person I love the most just now. Why? Seeing that Aisha showed signs of singing again, Yake hurriedly interrupted the spellcasting. The person is beautiful and the song is very sweet, but Yake really can't express what he wants to say while singing. That's because you're resisting your own power, and the more you resist, the stronger it becomes, so it's beyond your control. Advertisement, Yake said calmly, playing a guest role as a spiritual mentor. Then what should I do? Aisha stood up slowly, no longer complaining about herself, and stared at Yake brightly. Follow your heart, accept your power, master your power, be yourself. Yake was very calm on the surface, but actually racked his brains to say a few coquettish words. Didn't you see that Aisha's eyes were full of reverence? Yake was very proud of himself, and suddenly felt that his role was a bit like a magic old black. Do it, myself, I get it. Aisha nodded, with a clear understanding in her heart, and looked firmly at the kingdom of Arendelle covered in snow and ice in the distance. Yake looked confused. I haven't told you what to do yet. Do you understand? What do you understand? Seeing Aisha walked out of the castle firmly, Jake quickly chased after her. Look, it's the queen. The two soldiers glanced at each other and quietly left the team. Queen Elsa, I'm here to find Princess Anna, please hand her over. Aisha was so frightened that she quickly hid in the castle. She was still a little afraid of strange men and dared not face them. If I'm not wrong, they're here for you, and they have bad intentions. Yake said lightly. He didn't even bother to take a look at these ordinary people. There was nothing special about them. All conspiracies and schemes were false. Aisha's power was enough to suppress them. But the next moment Yake was slapped in the face, and Aisha was chased by two soldiers and ran around, but she refused to use magic until she had to use it to protect herself. Yake shook his head and sighed. After all, Aisha was still a princess living in the castle. It was unrealistic for her to suppress her forcefully. She disappeared like lightning, grabbed the necks of two soldiers and slammed them together. Why don't you use your power? They clearly want your life. Aisha shouted loudly towards Yake. I'm afraid of killing them by mistake. I don't want their lives. Yake looked at the comatose soldier, and then at Aisha. Let it be, innocence and kindness are beautiful qualities, but how to train her is Robin's business. 280. Love can melt ice, okay, but your sister is probably dying soon. Yake told the cruel truth. When Anna was kicked out by Aisha just now, Yake could feel the passing of her life. It was the bone-eating ice. Anna, as an ordinary person, couldn't last long at all. The fact is exactly the same. After Anna and Kristoff left, they came to the gathering place of stone goblins, where Kristoff grew up. Anna, your life is in danger now. Your sister's magic has frozen your heart. If the magic power is not removed, you will soon be frozen into ice. Kristoff hugged Anna and said to Pebby, the stone goblin elder, you can save her, can't you, Grandpa Pebby? Sorry, boy, I can't. Just one act of true love can melt a frozen heart. On the side of the ice and snow castle, Aisha broke the defense after hearing Jake's words and couldn't help sobbing. I almost killed my sister. No, there must be a way. Yake, you must know. Tell me, what should I do? Yake shook his head. He really didn't know. He was only good at killing people, not saving people, and he remembered that the final ending was good. Aisha must have found a way to save his sister. Sorry, Aisha, I don't know. The most urgent thing now is to find your sister, otherwise it will be too late. Yes, I want to find Anna. Aisha was about to rush out in a hurry, but was stopped by Yake. It's too late by the time you run over. I'll take you there. Yake grabbed Aisha's waist and rushed out of the palace. Prince Hans, who was fighting the snow monster outside the door, frowned. Who is that tall man? Hans' face was gloomy and uncertain. He thought that he was sure of winning and annexing the kingdom of Arendelle would not be a problem, but the tall man who suddenly appeared next to Aisha aroused his vigilance. Don't get entangled with it. Go back quickly. The queen was taken away by a strange person. Aisha, who was held in Yake's arms, blushed a little. She had never been so close to a man except her father since she was a child, and she had only known him for a day. But soon her attention was attracted by the ground. My God, Your ability is so convenient that you can fly. It's nothing, as long as you want, you can too. Flying is not just a legend. Okay, here we are. Advertisement. Yake put Aisha on the ground, and in front of him was the kingdom of Arendelle covered with snow. Anna must be in the castle, I'm going to find her. Yake stopped the anxious Aisha. Calm down, we are going fast, she hasn't come yet. Don't move around here, I'll find someone. Yake put his robe on Aisha and walked aside. Robin, are you there? Yake took out the silver hair, which was Robin's hair, and Robin could use it to perceive Yake's position. The hair turned into ice and snow, and Robin's face emerged. Honey, what's the matter? Come over here. I found a good mage seedling, she is very similar to you. In short, you will know when you come here. Robin nodded, expressing understanding. I'll be right over. Rayleigh, settle the fight quickly, stop playing with this big fool, we have to go. The ice and snow dissipated, and there was no more sound. Yake waited for a while, and sparks appeared in the air. Aisha on the side looked at the strange scene in surprise, covered her mouth and dared not speak, and saw more and more sparks. Drawing a circle in the air, the portal officially opened, and Robin and Rayleigh came out. Wow, this world, I don't seem to have been here yet, but it suits me very well. Robin saw the world covered in ice and snow, as if she had come home. Compared with Elsa, she was more like the queen of ice and snow, while Rayleigh was a bit out of place. The two women came over and kissed Yake respectively, but Yake couldn't close his mouth. This girl. Robin saw Aisha in the robe at a glance, and somehow felt a little familiar. The two people who had nothing to do with each other somehow felt that they had known each other for a long time. She is Aisha, she is very talented, just like you, the power of ice and snow. Robin was a lot taller than Aisha, and Robin walked up to Aisha and gently stroked Aisha's face. Hello, Elsa, I'm Nico Robin, Yake's wife, and I'm also a mage, nice to meet you. Yake interjected. How happy. Advertisement. Robin glanced at Yake, and Yake closed his mouth consciously. Hi, Ms. Robin, my name is Aisha, nice to meet you too. Rayleigh, who was leaning against Yake, chuckled and used the power of the reality gem to create a house. Robin, it's not convenient to talk here, let's go in and talk. It's Anna. Kristoff dragged Anna forward in a sled, and saw a circle glowing with Mars in front of him, and they appeared in the house made by Rayleigh in the next second. Elsa hesitated for a while and agreed to become Robin's apprentice. Well, don't worry. Aisha hugged Anna, who was almost unconscious, and tears rolled down from the corners of her eyes. The will of the world, it's interesting, it seems that you are in luck, Yake. Aisha immediately found Anna's location from the phantom, but then she felt distressed. Anna's hair became white and looked very haggard. I'm sorry, it's all my fault, I shouldn't treat you like this, Anna, please, don't die. I understand, let me see Tilda. An act of true love can melt a frozen heart. The person your sister loves the most is you, Aisha, you saved your sister. Robin's voice sounded from Yake's mind. Yake turned his head to look. Robin quietly gave a thumbs up, walked slowly in front of Aisha, put his hand on Aisha's shoulder and said, Anna, are you okay? I would like to, but my sister, Anna, was hurt by my power, I must save her. I see, I can help you, are you willing to be my disciple? Robin decided to show off to his disciples by using a spell to reveal Anna's location. Robin felt even more regretful after understanding the cause and effect. Aisha with power is so similar to O'Hara with knowledge. In her, Robin saw her own shadow. No matter how talented Aisha is, she is willing to serve as a disciple of Aisha. Anna's hair slowly turned back to its original color, and she slowly opened her eyes, looking at Aisha's tearful face, and wiped away the tears from the corners of her eyes. 281. Loki arrives early. Elsa was overjoyed with her younger sister who had recovered. Mr. Robin, you are right. Elsa let go of Anna slowly, the magical power surged on her body. Rayleigh released the power of the reality gem in time, and the house suddenly disappeared. After Aisha understood that love is the key to controlling her own power, she seemed to be enlightened, and the kingdom of Arendelle, which was ravaged by a snowstorm, underwent earth-shaking changes. The ice and snow melted, everything revived, and bright colors reappeared on this land. Birds sang around Aisha, just like a scene in a fairy tale. No, this seems to be a fairy tale. The Prince Hans, who hurried back, saw it and fled in desperation. His plan to annex Arendelle was completely shattered. So what are you doing here? After Arendelle returned to normal, a large number of world origins were scattered around Aisha, most of which actively clustered around Aisha and were subconsciously absorbed by Aisha, and the rest became their own under the guidance of Yake's strength. Is this the reward for conforming to the will of the world? Haha, it feels pretty good. Yake feels that compared with the last time, although the growth rate is smaller, the victory is that he has no burden on himself, and has directly become his own strength, which does not need to be digested. In fact, if you want to get more, you can try another method, but that is a bit difficult, even for mages. Robin squeezed Yake's shoulders and said, this time Yake helped him find a disciple with good qualifications, which was regarded as a reward for him. I see, let's try next time. Yake nodded and continued to enjoy Robin's massage. This is not comparable to 98 or 298. More than a dozen hands are massaged at the same time, and the massage team is not so professional. Knock knock knock. Robin stopped and whispered, Aisha is here. Yake sat upright, picked up a book and read it pretendingly. Come in. Teacher, I'm ready. It can be seen that Aisha has cried before, and the tears in the corners of her eyes have not been wiped clean. It is obviously not so easy to part with her favorite sister. Aisha, don't worry, as long as you are successful in cultivation, you can come back to see your sister at any time, and you are still a part of this country. Advertisement, teacher, where are we going? Kamatage, the sacred place of mages. After Ji retired, he drank tea every day, observed the world, and suddenly the portal opened, and Robin and others brought Aisha to Ji. Teacher Ji, this is my disciple, Aisha, I think she will become a member of our mages. Ji raised his eyebrows and stared at Aisha with sharp eyes, making the latter a little scared. Her aptitude is very good, Master Robin, your vision is very good, her achievements are at least above Modu's. Modu next to him had a question mark on his face, the unit of measurement was actually himself. Ha, teacher, it's amazing, she still has a long way to go, so I won't bother you, Aisha, come with me. Yake returned to his room in Queens. Seeing that the room was spotless, Yake breathed a sigh of relief. His only worry was that when he traveled through the multiverse, time in the Marvel Universe flowed too fast. The cosmic Rubik's Cube has awakened ahead of time. It is in a small space, in the human world. Human beings try to control it and use it. Unfortunately, only our allies know how to master the secret of the Rubik's Cube. Let the allies be the pioneers. We, the Chidori, will follow. This planet can belong to him, but the whole universe will be ours. What will human beings do? They can only wait to die. On the Chidori mothership, the leader of Chirida handed the spiritual scepter to Loki, who showed a wicked smile and turned to leave. After falling from the Rainbow Bridge, he became Thanos' pawn, and he never forgot about the Earth, so he came to obtain the Rubik's Cube for Thanos. The reason why the cosmic Rubik's Cube became restless is because of Yake. The Infinity Gems are connected with each other. Originally, there was only one cosmic Rubik's Cube on the Earth. Naturally, there would be no movement, but the arrival of Yake allowed the Power Gem and the Reality Gem to exist at the same time. On the Earth, the connection between the Infinity Stones activated the power of the cosmic Rubik's Cube. What's going on? Black Braised Egg brought the glamorous Agent Hill to the secret base for researching the Rubik's Cube, and Coulson came out to greet him. Worst of all, we don't know what's going on, sir. Several people took the elevator down, and Coulson reported the situation. 3 hours and 52 minutes ago, Dr. Eric detected a burst of energy from the cosmic Rubik's Cube. Fury's face turned dark. No, it turned even darker. If I remember correctly, the space agency has not authorized anyone to test the Rubik's Cube. Sir, he didn't do the test, he wasn't there at all, it was an automatic trigger, and now he's looking for the reason. Advertisement Fury glanced at the hurriedly looking researchers in the base. What is the energy level of the Rubik's Cube now? I don't know, it's still rising, Dr. Eric can't close it, and an emergency evacuation has been ordered now. Fury couldn't help speeding up his pace. How long will it take to evacuate? Half an hour. Let them speed up. Coulson nodded and went to take charge of the evacuation. Hill General Fury seemed a little absent-minded. Sir, did you guess something? I have an object of suspicion. His recent whereabouts are very secretive, and his purpose of coming to Earth is for the cosmic Rubik's Cube, so he is very suspicious. Hill turned his head slightly, and knew that Fury was talking about the powerful alien, Yake. Sir, there is no accurate information about him now, but our top priority is to control the power of the Rubik's Cube, otherwise we will have nowhere to escape. Ding dong ding ding tilde. The two quickly walked down the stairs and came to the deepest place where the Rubik's Cube was stored. How about the cosmic Rubik's Cube? Eric shook his head. Now the Rubik's Cube is not serious. Is this the time to joke? Eric walked to Fury. No kidding, the Rubik's Cube is not only active, but also doing its own thing. Fury touched his chin with his hands and his expression was a little serious. He had a vague premonition that was not very good. Doctor, do you want to try unplugging the power? Eric thought Fury was joking at first, but after seeing his serious expression, he realized that Fury was not joking. The cosmic Rubik's Cube itself is an energy source. Fury was silent and didn't speak. 282. The war begins. Seeing that Fury remained silent, Eric continued. Its energy has reached its peak if it continues. Fury interrupted Eric. Isn't that our purpose? To draw energy from the universe? Eric pursed his lips and said regretfully, humans are not ready yet. Eric was debugging the machine, and Fury called Agent Button to confirm that Eric had no problems. No one had contact with him. Really? He seems to be Yake's astrophysics teacher? True, but they haven't been in touch since the events in New Mexico. Fury still feels that Yake is a major suspect. After all, Yake is too great a threat to human beings, far exceeding the power of other superheroes, and with an unpredictable personality, Yake has always been an unstable factor. The two stood in front of the instrument where the Rubik's Cube was placed, and suddenly the Rubik's Cube burst out with strong energy. Fury was startled and quickly backed away. The cosmic Rubik's Cube kept flickering, and the energy tide burst out one after another. Yake, who was far away in Queens, sat up from the bed, and the power gem emerged from his hand, shining with a purple halo. Yake, what's the matter? May put her hands on Yake's chest with sleepy eyes, and opened her eyes with difficulty. It's okay, go to sleep. Yake kissed May's head lightly to let her sleep peacefully, while he observed the change of the power gem, and played with May's softness unconsciously with his hands. Could it be early? The energy erupting from the cosmic Rubik's Cube became stronger and stronger, but Fury and the others didn't dare to approach it at all. They could only pray that the Rubik's Cube would end the convulsions quickly, but often things backfired, and the cosmic Rubik's Cube directly ejected a burst of energy to open the space channel. Boom! The energy of the cosmic Rubik's Cube was turned off, and an energy shock burst out, but the power was not strong, and people were fine. It's just that a humanoid creature appeared, half kneeling on the ground, holding a scepter, and bowing its head. The armed men were signaled by Fury and stepped forward to check the situation. Advertisement: the third princess was wrong. Loki stood up slowly, with the corners of his mouth crazily raised. He looked serious. Please, sir, put down your spear. Fury hasn't met Loki, but it doesn't prevent him from pretending to be aggressive. Loki showed a disdainful smile, and pretended to look at the spiritual scepter in his hand. When he raised his hand, a burst of energy shot out. Barton's pupils shrank, and he quickly threw Fury down to avoid the attack. The armed personnel launched an attack on Loki without hesitation. The bullets hit Loki like a storm, but hitting him was like scraping. Anyway, Loki is also a god. Bullets are useless, at least they have to be. It's a bomb. Loki killed the standing man 3 times, 5 times and 2 times, and controlled Barton and others with the spiritual scepter by the way. Seeing that Loki's attention was not on him, Fury secretly put away the Rubik's Cube. In the dim environment, he in black leather and black windbreaker used his racial advantage to ultimate. Loki stopped Fury immediately when he saw the big black mouse sneaking around. Put it down, it's mine. There's no need to be so nervous. Are you aliens so concerned about the Rubik's Cube? HMPH, of course it is necessary. I came all the way for this. I am Loki, from Asgard. I shoulder a great mission that you cannot understand. Eric heard the key words, Asgard, then he won't be sleepy. Loki? Are you Thor's brother? Loki ignored it, and the scepter was aimed at Fury, and the threat was self-evident. We have no enmity with you. Hearing Fury's words, Loki shook his head, his tone high. Ant, I have no enmity with your shoes. Actually, what I bring is good news, a world without worries. Fury was overjoyed. He didn't expect Loki to cooperate so well. It happened that he could delay the time, so he quickly took over Loki's words. What concern? Freedom. Freedom is the biggest lie in life, if you accept this. Loki turned around suddenly, controlled Eric's mind with the scepter, and turned him into his own. Your hearts will find peace. Fury was about to say something just now, but Barton interrupted him. The so-called blackening is 3 times stronger. Barton is very clear about the situation in this place. It is about to explode here, and Fury is just delaying time. Advertisement Poe yelled in Furui's heart. What a Barton, you are usually honest, but I didn't expect to stab myself just after you betrayed. He is right, this place is about to collapse, there are still 2 minutes. Even if Eric made up the knife, Fury was about to run away when he saw something bad, but Barton shot him without hesitation, and under the leadership of Barton, he left with the cosmic Rubik's Cube. Fury was not dead yet, so he quickly notified all departments to be on alert, but Barton and Loki, a shooter and a mage, fought a wave of cooperation and escaped smoothly. Fury stared blankly with a small pistol and had to fire a few shots into the sky to cheer up. Hi Miss May, I'm Phil Coulson, I'm looking for Mr. Yake, is he there? Let him in. Fury found a US team who was training, let him perform new tasks, and helped him integrate into this new world for him. Coulson walked into the room and saw that Jake was watching TV with his legs crossed, and there was a little boy beside him. Coulson knew him, a little boy named Peter, May's nephew. They were all of Jacques' neighbors, have an unusual relationship. Coulson's tasks are relatively busy. First he went to find Stark, and now he has come to Queens. A lot of people are still being crushed under the base, and I don't know how many people will survive. Yake gave May a reassuring look, led Coulson to his room, and closed the door. Bang bang bang. Natasha found the reclusive Dr. Banner and invited him out of the mountain. Coulson, go back to the base and issue a level 7 alert. Judging from the current situation, the war has already begun. I see. Issue an emergency order to gather all those who did not participate in the rescue, and immediately go and retrieve the cosmic Rubik's Cube for me. Quote, hello, who are you? Yake turned his head to look at Coulson, smiled and said, no problem, come with me. Fury looked at Loki and the others in the distance, gasping for breath. The Rubik's Cube was taken by an unknown enemy, and my personnel suffered casualties. Hill? Tell me, what do you want from me? May smiled politely at Coulson and beckoned him in. May glanced at Coulson suspiciously, then turned around and shouted, Yake, a man named Coulson came to see you. Do you know him? Mr. Yake, I'm sorry to disturb you. I'm here to talk to you about something. I don't know if you have time. 283. Mind scepter. Looking at Yake's gaze, Coulson felt a little stressed. As a socialite of S.H.I.E.L.D., he is very experienced, but he is still a little scared when facing people like Yake who don't follow the routine. Mr. Yake, there is an abnormality in the Rubik's Cube in the universe. It has brought enemies from outside the Earth. Loki, I don't know if you have any impression? Thor's brother, I did see him. What has he done? Yake nodded. Everything is still under control. He stole the Rubik's Cube, killed more than 30 of our agents, and threatened to conquer the Earth. Coulson observed Yake's expression while talking. He is a man who is familiar with micro-expressions, but Yake has always looked lazy and indifferent to anything. Coulson's effort is in vain. So, you want me to help you get Loki back? Yake looked at Coulson with a half-smile and said, won't he be kidnapped by morality again? I am known to have no sense of morality. Coulson secretly thought something bad when he heard Yake's words, but he gritted his teeth after remembering Fury's order, and opened his mouth with difficulty. Mr. Yake, no matter you are willing to join, Director Fury will promise you any conditions. Yake heard it and sat up straight. He didn't hear hallucinations just now. Fury, a cunning black-headed man with persecution paranoia, actually bleeds so profusely. I almost wanted to agree to him. Ahem, what you say doesn't count, I want to contact your chief. Without further ado, Coulson took out his mobile phone and contacted Fury without any hesitation, as if he had wanted to do this a long time ago. Coulson, how did the talk go? Sir, Mr. Yake wants to talk to you personally. Hey, give him the phone. Yake took Coulson's call with a smile, and stretched his legs and lay on the soft sofa in one go. Hey, black braised egg, I heard that you were willing to pay anything to get me to do it? Is this the case? Let me make a correction. As long as you are willing to make a move, I can get you anything you want except the cosmic Rubik's Cube. Advertisement. Yake's smile disappeared from the corner of his mouth in an instant, and suddenly another thought sprouted in his heart, and the smile reappeared. No problem, but I want Loki's scepter. As my trophy, is there a problem? Fury was silent for a while, considering Yake's intentions in his heart. Yake didn't mention the Rubik's Cube and wanted his scepter instead. Could it be that Loki's scepter is a treasure comparable to the Rubik's Cube in the universe? Seeing Fury not speaking for a long time, Yake's patience was slowly exhausted, and his tone became cold. Director Fairy, don't be too greedy, you shouldn't be thinking too much about what you think, human beings simply don't have the qualifications to hold these things. Hearing Yake's urging, Fury gritted his teeth, and in order to be sure, he had no choice but to agree to Yake's request. No problem, we will hand over Loki's scepter to you, provided that you help us catch Loki. HMPH, happy cooperation. Yake hung up the phone, returned the phone to Coulson, and looked at Coulson with his arms folded, without speaking. Coulson was stared at by Yake's eyes, and soon he understood what Yake meant. Sorry, then I won't bother you, Mr. Yake, I'm leaving first, and I'll let you know if I have any news. Coulson hurriedly left Yake's room. Yake sat in the room with a smile on his face. Just now he promised to make a move, but he didn't promise when to make a move. Loki's scepter is the carrier of the soul gem, and it would be too wasteful to give it to the earth. The show is about to begin. You can get 2 infinite gems at once, and I'm a little excited when I think about it. In this way, there are only soul gems. Kullingstrasse 28, Stuttgart, Germany. Rocky, dressed in a suit, came to a meeting place openly and above board, where celebrities gathered in society. All of them were dressed luxuriously and had extraordinary temperament. Loki held a scepter and looked down at the so-called celebrities at his feet, showing a disdainful smile, and walked down the spiral staircase gracefully, as if he was the protagonist here. After finding the target, he directly took out the instrument and stabbed it towards his eyeball. The scene was very bloody for a time, exclamations kept coming and going, and people started running around. Loki smiled evilly and walked towards the fleeing crowd. The suit on his body turned into a gorgeous armor with dazzling golden light. By the way, there are 2 unruly sharp horns. Kneel down. Loki's phantom blocked the way of the crowd, but no one paid attention to him. Loki was angry, and it was this feeling of being ignored again. Advertisement, I said, kneel down. The crowd looked at Loki in horror, showing fear of things or abilities he didn't know, kneeling on his knees, no big deal. Looking at the tamed lamb, Loki triumphantly showed a pervert smile. This is a treatment he never enjoyed in Asgard, even if he was with Thor. Clang. It may be difficult for an old man like you to understand, but he is actually what is commonly known as an alien. Yake couldn't help applauding Rocky's superb acting skills, but it was still too fake. A group of gods surrendered after fighting for less than a minute. Is this possible? And Loki is a mage, but he wants to confront others head-on, alas. The temptation of freedom deprives you of the joy in life. You are crazy about power and status. You long to be enslaved. Your bones are full of servility. Sooner or later you will submit to your ruler. Yake saw it clearly in Tiantai Mountain, and put the jar of happy water in the trash can with precision, and looked up at the sky. It's not that upturned but, the US team is coming. Hey, Yake. Can't you knock on the door? Stark spread his hands and shook his head helplessly. Yake stretched out his right hand. Yake, interstellar friend, currently lives in Queens. It's so fake, it's you, Loki. Isn't that simple? Aren't you born this way? This is human beings. Why knock on the door? Can't you just come in? An old man stood up and angered Loki. Just as Loki was emitting energy, a blue-red voice fell from the sky. When they locked Rocky up, Yake went directly into the Quinjet fighter. Steve looked at Yake vigilantly, and Tony was also taken aback. The energy went back the same way, knocking Loki into the air. I remember when I came to Germany last time, there was also a person who put himself above all living beings, and then he died. Steve looked at Stark with a puzzled expression. What the hell is interstellar friends? He has only heard of international friends. Steve glanced at Stark. Who is he? Then Natasha and Stark came, and Loki was beaten a bit badly. 284. The god of tricks. Loki stared straight at Yake, and the anger in his eyes almost gushed out. In his opinion, Yake clearly has the ability to prevent that idiot Thor from destroying the Rainbow Bridge, but he didn't, which led to the failure of his plan, so he put all the responsibility on Yake. What are you looking at? Yake looked at Loki with a half-smile, and Loki shrank his body like a frightened chicken, acting quite like it. If Yake hadn't glanced at Loki just now, he would have thought he was really afraid of himself. This guy seems to be afraid of you. Steve walked up to Yake and looked at Loki and frowned. He always felt that something was wrong. This guy was obviously able to split with himself, so why did he surrender so quickly? If he could at least take hours. Impossible. How could he be afraid of me? Crack boom boom tilde. A flash of lightning flashed across the night sky, and Loki shivered immediately. Steve raised his head and looked at Yake strangely. Is this what you said you were not afraid of? Suddenly the plane shook, and something fell on it. Steve took out his shield vigilantly and blocked it in front of him. Tony's visor covered his head, eager to try. The rear hatch opened, and Thor knocked Tony away with a hammer without saying a word, and ran away with Loki in his arms. Jake, who was next to him, didn't even look at it. Obviously, he only had his brother whom he loved and hated in his eyes. Steve saw Tony's action and yelled, "What are you doing? Find Loki. Whether he takes Loki away or kills him, the Rubik's Cube is gone. Stark, we need a plan. The plan is, fight." Steve shook his head, took a parachute, and followed Stark down. Now there are only Jake and Natasha left on the plane, and a pilot who has no sense of existence. "Mr. Jake, are you not going?" "No interest. The fight between them is like a play between children. I just want what I deserve." Advertisement. Natasha pursed her lips. This guy seemed to have no liking for her at all, and she didn't want to be bored. Soon, the battle between Steve, Tony, and Thor was over, and Rocky was brought back to S.H.I.E.L.D. space base, a space carrier that looked pretty good. "Hello, Dr. Banner. Remember me?" Seeing Banner, who was studying, Jake said hello, the so-called no acquaintance, although he was only beaten by himself, but at least he knew each other. Sorry, do we know each other?" Banner looked like he didn't know Jake at all, and frantically searched for memories in his head, trying to find information about Jake, but couldn't find it. "Okay, maybe the other guy in you knows me, but let's get to know each other. I'm Jake." Hello, I'm Banner, and you too." Banner made a movement of hammering his chest. Sort of, but I wouldn't do that. The other superheroes are sitting around the conference room, and the pictures of Fury and Loki are playing on the computer screen. Loki was imprisoned in a glass room, and would fall from a height of 9,000 meters if there was a slight movement. This thing is well designed, but it shouldn't be for me, right? The thing that was supposed to be closed is much more fierce than you. Oh, I heard, it's a raging beast, and pretending to be an ordinary person. How desperate. Why do you need this kind of monster to protect you? Loki's eyes were always fixed on the side monitor. This was not for Fury, but for Banner. The eyes of others were more or less turned to Dr. Banner, but Jake just looking at Loki with a smile. He is indeed the god of tricks. The power of language is sometimes more lethal. Tell you, you did make me desperate, but I will make you regret it. Oh tilde, the feeling of falling short of success makes you very upset, right? You almost obtained the energy of the Rubik's Cube, the endless energy. What is your purpose? Let all human beings share the warmth. Advertisement. Banner said in a reluctant tone. This guy is really long-winded, haha. This can be regarded as the time when Banner fled, and he did a good job of self-cultivation. I think he did it on purpose. Thor, what do you think he wants to do? Steve looked at the silent Thor, waiting for his answer. Thor took a deep breath. He has an army called Chitauri. They don't belong to Asgard. They don't belong to any planet. Loki plans to take them to attack the Earth. They will definitely help him. I think the condition is the Rubik's Cube. So, his purpose is to open the portal? So he took away Dr. Eric? Thor seemed to hear the name of an acquaintance. Eric? Yes, he's an astronomer. He is my friend. Jake said with a smile. Thor, are you sure you don't want to see Jane? As far as I know, she seems to be looking for you everywhere. It's okay if you don't come to Earth, if she knows you're here and doesn't go to her. Thor's expression was rather annoyed. He was only thinking about Loki, and forgot his girlfriend Jane to the back of his head. Everyone else looked at Jake unanimously, and the serious atmosphere made him stir up. I don't think we should focus on Loki. This guy's thoughts are elusive. If you ask me, he is a lunatic. Banner expressed his opinion straightforwardly. He still felt a little resentful when Loki accused Sang-Wai just now, but Thor didn't feel that way when he heard it. You'd better watch what you say. Loki is unreasonable, but he's an Asgardian, and we're brothers. Natasha crossed her arms and said calmly, he killed 80 people in 2 days. He was adopted. Jake laughed unkindly, loudly, and Thor was very embarrassed, but Jake was someone he couldn't afford, and the most important thing was that he couldn't beat him, so he had to apologize in embarrassment. Oh, it's so interesting. I finally saw the famous scene. I'm leaving. Loki's scepter will pick you up for a while. I'm going home for dinner. In the next second, Jake turned into electric particles and disappeared on the seat. Thor was not surprised at all. Jake relied on this trick to beat him with a set of tricks, and he couldn't get off. After Jake came home, it was already late, and May had already fallen asleep. Seeing a small box on my computer desk, it seems that Reiju has already been here, and opening the box, there are ether particles inside. The New York War will definitely start, and there will be no accidents to them according to the normal plot, but who can guarantee that there will be no accidents? 285. A tragic day in New York. Jake uses the power of the Reality Stone to strengthen the entire house. Billion, down. As long as the people in this building don't leave this building, they will escape the attack of the Chitauri army without incident. If they want to go out to find excitement, it's no fault of Jake. They can be regarded as the May family. The light of people, otherwise the acrylic tube would not bother to care about them. The next day, there was a mess on the S.H.I.E.L.D. mothership, and Loki's plan took effect. The Soul Stone affected their emotions and made them more irritable. The Avengers huddled together, and Jake's phone started ringing at 6 o'clock and never stopped. Shiete, black marinated eggs really disturb people's dreams. Jake answered the phone impatiently, but what came was a message from Agent Hill. Mr. Jake, the situation is urgent now. If you still want your things, please rush to the bridge as soon as possible, otherwise Loki will run away. Jake looked at the time. It was 8 o'clock. He didn't know if it was too late. After washing up quickly, Jake confirmed the location of the aircraft carrier, and then appeared on the bridge. However, the battle seemed to be over. There was black smoke everywhere, and there were still a large number of staff working on repairs. When they walked into the meeting room, everyone's expressions were a little strange. Fury glanced at Yake and continued. This was found in Coulson's coat. He will never have a chance to get your autograph. Fury saw some photos thrown in front of Steve, and Steve picked up the bloody photos with a heavy face. We are in a blind state, the communication is broken, and the Rubik's Cube cannot be found. Banner and Thor are gone, and I can't do anything. I have lost my best confidant. Yake kept silent. If he didn't know that Coulson would be resurrected, he would have believed it. Fury, a black brine, was not telling the truth. In this situation, he said these words just to revive the morale of the army and enhance the cohesion of the team. But it doesn't work for Yake, he doesn't belong to this team. That's right, we were planning to use the Rubik's Cube to make weapons, but I didn't put all my bets on it, but used it on a more risky project. That's my ideal, Stark should know. We call it the Avengers Project. The idea is to bring together the most penultimate people in the world and see if they can play a bigger role. When we need them, they can work together to fight against us. We are not sure. Defeated enemies, Coulson believed in this ideal until his death, he believed. The existence of a hero, tilde. Stark stood up with a heavy face, glanced at Fury, and turned to leave. Steve put away Coulson's belongings and followed Stark. Only Yake, Fury and Hill were left in the room. Mr. Yake, you have not kept our promise. Advertisement. Yake said lightly. I obeyed, but not now. Besides, I haven't got his scepter yet, have I? You knew that the scepter would affect people's minds, didn't you? Fury said loudly to Yake with a dark face, aggressively questioning Yake. Yake just smiled faintly. So what if you know? Aren't you very happy? I have told you a long time ago that the Earth is not yet capable of holding things that should not belong to them, whether it is the Rubik's Cube or Loki's scepter. And my purpose has not changed from the beginning to the end. The cosmic Rubik's Cube and the Spirit Scepter should belong to me, if you don't want to. Yake didn't say the following words, but Fury understood what Yake didn't say in the second half of the sentence. Fury was extremely calm. You are a threat to the people on Earth. You never seem to have said what you want those things for. How can I trust you? You don't need to believe me. You just need to know that if I want to destroy the Earth, I don't need those things, and I don't need them. The war is about to start. You should worry about how to protect the people of American first. Yake patted Fury on the shoulder and disappeared in place. Fury remained silent for a long time, as if he was still pondering Yake's intentions. Yake has come to the sky above New York. At this time, the sun is shining, and the machine has been placed on the top of the Stark building. It is Yake's chief teacher Eric. Yake didn't bother him, turned and returned to the apartment. Bang bang bang. Jack, good morning. Have you had breakfast yet? Mayla took Yake into the hall. The steaming meal was ready, and she was ready to go to work after eating. Yake put his arms around May and said, May, you'd better not miss work today, and Peter doesn't have to go to school. Why, could it be? You're right, aliens will invade the Earth. As long as you stay in the room, you won't get hurt. May covered her mouth in surprise. If other people said, she would definitely think it was crazy, but she had to believe what Yake said. I see, what about you? Won't you come with us? Advertisement? Don't worry, I'll be fine. Don't you know my ability? Stark was suspended in the air wearing a steel suit. Shut it down, Dr. Eric. The roof of Stark Tower. Yake looked around and found no light bulb. Peter, very good, picked up May, sat on the sofa and kissed her passionately, and turned on the TV by the way. My God, what did Mr. Stark do again? Beep tilde bang. Oh my God, what is this? Have aliens invaded Earth? May grabbed Peter by the ear and told him to return to the sofa obediently. At this time, the reporter on the TV screamed. A blue beam of light appeared on the top of the Stark Tower, and this beam of light opened a passage to the mysterious space. The Zeta Swiss soldier riding an airship came out of the passage and came to the Earth. After eating, Yake leaned on the sofa to watch the news. May was on the right, and Peter was on the left. Peter, what did I say? Don't get too close to the TV, get back on the couch. 2 palm cannons were shot out, and then they hit the egg. The force reflected by the cosmic Rubik's Cube directly knocked Stark into the air, and Eric was also bounced away by the energy impact, and fell to the side, unconscious. It's too late, it can't stop, it's going to show us a whole new universe. Stark shook his head. Okay. Sudden event, an accident occurred at the top of the Stark building. It is visually estimated that an accident occurred in Mr. Stark's research. The specific situation is still being tracked. Please don't go away. This station will follow up and report. Then the camera fell to the ground, leaving only the screaming and fleeing crowd on the screen. Peter stood up directly, leaned in front of the screen, and blocked the TV tightly. 286. The Chidori, aliens have invaded Earth. Oh my God. Peter grabbed Yake's hand nervously, looked straight at Yake, and hinted frantically that he almost didn't put on his armor to go into battle. Yake touched Peter's head, stood up and looked out the window. Yake. Uncle Yake. May and Yake's fingers are intertwined. She knows that Yake is unusual, but otherwise she will put Yake in danger. It's okay, I'll come when I go, Stark Tower. The Zeta Swiss soldiers are constantly rushing in from the space wormhole. At present, only Stark is fighting bloody battles, but he alone cannot stop so many Zeta Swiss soldiers, and can only watch helplessly, break through his defenses and wreak havoc across the city. The people in the distance looked at the change in the sky. Their eyes were full of horror, but they were covered by Chidori's artillery fire in the next second. Those who survived fled in a hurry, and New York was in chaos. Thunderhammer Thor was ready to go, landed on the top of Stark Tower, and shouted at Loki. Loki, close the Rubik's Cube immediately, or I will destroy it. HMPH, my stupid brother, you can't do it, you can't stop it, now there is only war. Loki's scepter was pointed at Thor, and the mage directly began to fight the warrior close to him, putting it in the Lord of the Rings, and Loki was at least the upper half of Gandalf. Yake wandered around in the riotous city, screaming and yelling, and there were still people buying at 0 yuan in the store, with black and white leather, which was a lively scene. But Yake is not in a hurry to make a move. Only after feeling the pain, people will realize how precious peace is. Ahem, it's crossing the stage. Anyway, the death of others has nothing to do with Yake, it's all about Loki wrong. Yake is waiting for an opportunity to show his existence to the world. Now it can only be said that it is a small fight, not in a hurry. Get out of here, it's dangerous here. Steve, Natasha and others arrived. After dispersing the crowd, they saw Yake looking up at the sky on the road. Looking in the direction of Yake, a mechanical coon came out of the wormhole, nearly a kilometer long. The sense of oppression it brings is far from what those Zeta Swiss soldiers riding airships can match. I saw the mechanical coon passing over the heads of Yake and others, and the soldiers of Chidori were continuously ejected from the inside. The standard war machine has strong destructive power and can transport a large amount of troops. The damage caused in the city is unparalleled. Seeing Steve and the others standing motionless, Yake seemed to be still admiring the arrival of the mechanical coon, and asked curiously, aren't you still going to fight monsters? Why are you standing still? Advertisement, how about you? Yake pointed to the sky. Me? I've already done it, can't you see it? Everyone looked up, the dark clouds covered the sky, and the sky gradually darkened, as if the end was coming. That's what you did. Don't worry about it, go and evacuate the people first. Hawkeye, Black Widow, and the US team dispersed immediately, and took the initiative to save the people and deal with some aliens by the way. With a wave of Yake's hand, the scrapped vehicle in front gave way, and Yake continued to move forward. Help, help, please, save my child. Yake turned his head and looked. A woman was caught in the car dripping with blood, holding a little boy in her hands. There was no one else around, and all her hopes were pinned on Yake. A team of Zeta Swiss soldiers landed and aimed at Yake and the woman who called for help. Act recklessly. Heavenly judgment. Dozens of thunderbolts fell from the sky, and the Chidori team was instantly wiped out. Yake hooked his fingers in the direction of the woman, and the vehicle instantly disintegrated, freeing the woman, and the reality gem continued to recover from her injuries. Take your baby and go. Good luck. Yake left without looking back. Just now he saw Loki who fell into the Stark Tower, and he had to get back what belonged to him. ZZZ tilde. Yark appeared on the top of the building, and the device was constantly delivering energy to expand the wormhole, allowing more Zeta Swiss soldiers to enter the Earth. Feeling the guidance between the gems, Yake found the spiritual scepter lying lone on the ground on a platform. Yake disassembled the mind scepter with his bare hands, and clamped the huge yellow gemstone in it with 2 fingers. Compared with other infinite gems, the mind gem is the largest. Ding tilde the soul gem has been collected, do you want to absorb power? Advertisement, don't worry, I'm not ready yet. With a thought in his mind, Yake took out the artifact embryo directly, and slowly changed its shape according to Yake's thoughts. A bracelet and 5 rings appeared in Yake's hands, engraved with complicated patterns, but without grooves. It looked like an exquisite jewelry. Ding, the artifact has been generated, please name it host. Infinity. Then call it the Mobius ornament. Ding, get the artifact Mobius ornament, get the effect of the artifact. Indestructible, the skill of the artifact. The knot of eternal life, give the part holder eternal life, and bind up to 6 people. Yake pressed the soul gem on the bracelet, and the huge gem was directly immersed in the bracelet. From the outside, there was no trace of the gem at all, only the lines glowing with a faint yellow light, and the yellow light flooded into Yake's body, making him Yark can forcibly use all the powers of the Mind Stone. Not bad, but is this an infinite bracelet? Yake shook his head and continued to do the same, integrating the power gem and the reality gem into 2 rings one after another, and a ring with purple lines and red lines appeared in Yake's hands. Take back the other empty rings, on the right hand. Wear the ring of power on the middle finger, the ring of reality on the index finger, and the bracelet of the soul on the wrist. Yake holds 3 infinite gems at the same time. Yake slowly closed his eyes, feeling the earth-shaking changes. The more gems you hold at the same time, the stronger Yake will be. This is only 3 gems. Yake then turned his attention to the cosmic cube that continues to deliver energy. At this time, the Avengers on the ground have gathered together to discuss countermeasures. Banner just transformed into a hammer and exploded a mechanical coon, but 3 more flew down from the sky. The enemies seemed to be endless. With the thunderclouds summoned by Shang Yake, it was really dark clouds overwhelming the city. My heart sank to the bottom. Everyone. Order. Captain. Steve walked to position C and looked up at the sky. Listen up, stop them before closing the portal. Barton, go to the roof and find out the marching route of these guys. Stark, you hold your ground, anything close to these 3 streets forces them to retreat, or burn them to ashes. Thor, you have to find a way to hold them back. Can you summon lightning or something? Also, Hulk, let's make a fuss. 287, no sense of participation. Hulk smiled honestly at Steve, and rushed directly to the building. Thor rushed to a high-rise building with a pointed lightning rod on the top, which made it easier for him to gather lightning. He raised his hammer, and the blue current accumulated on the top of the hammer, and then, there was no more. The dark clouds all over the sky, and Thundersnake ignored Thor at all, which made Thor, who was holding the lightning rod, quite embarrassed. "Come Aang. Hurry up." After trying for a long time to no avail, Thor finally realized that he could only use a hammer. He gave up the idea of attracting thunder and started hitting people with the hammer. Lei Ying. Yake stood in front of the cosmic demon, raised his right hand high, and the thunder kept accumulating in the palm of his hand, and soon a thunderball took shape, but it was not over yet. Anyway, after accumulating power for so long, there was still a lot of current generated in the dark cloud. The thunderball got bigger and bigger, and the light it emitted became more and more dazzling, until everyone had to be attracted by it. "My God, Thor, are you Thor? That's what my father said?" Steve fell silent when he saw the thunderball on the top of the Stark Tower. He had never seen such a powerful force. Maybe he really couldn't keep up with the times. The strongest he had ever seen was the Hulk, but compared with Yake, it is still a little worse. "Sir, a high energy reaction has been detected, and the unknown energy has reached the power of a 50 million ton TNT bomb." "Walter, are you kidding me? You mean the noise made by Yake is comparable to hundreds of nuclear bombs?" Stark froze in the air, killed a Chidori with a small bomb in his backhand, and looked at the sky and muttering to himself. He quickly flew up. The other Avengers immediately unified their targets when they saw such a movement. "Let's go to see what's going on above." "It's not enough, more is needed." Yake crossed his hands and looked at the sky. The giant thunderball made by Lei Ying was still absorbing lightning, almost blocking the wormhole, and the Zeta Swiss soldier who had no time to escape was directly turned into fly ash. "Yake, what are you doing? You're going to ruin the whole city." Steve stood 10 steps away from Yake and said nervously, hoping to talk to Yake. "Advertisement, don't worry, Steve, since I dare to release this kind of thing, then he is under my control, don't worry, it will be fine soon." Yake was smiling all over his face, making it hard for people to see his true intentions. Steve always felt that something was wrong. He wanted to kill some aliens, but he was worried that Yake would do something wrong, so he stood here and waited. The people are dying again and again. "Stop, you savage." Loki, who realized that the situation was wrong, hurried over, and felt a little uneasy after seeing Yake's smile. "Loki, I'm sorry, your plan will fail again, and all your allies will die soon." Yake showed his big white fang, and it was funny to see Loki wanting to kill him but not daring to. "Damn, why are you disrupting my plan again?" Loki couldn't help it anymore after seeing Yake's smile, and took out 2 small knives and rushed towards Yake. But Yake was not the only one present. Steve, Stark, Natasha and others all came up. Hulk. Hulk blocked Loki's way and let out a deafening roar at him, spitting on Loki's face. "Go away, you stupid green thing. I'm a god." Loki wiped the drool off his face angrily, and responded to Hulk not to be outdone, but Hulk couldn't control that much, and grabbed Loki's calf. Bang 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 tilde. Loki was thrown around by Hulk like a rag doll, and there was a deep hole on the left and right sides, and then Loki was thrown aside. Thor looked at Hulk's rough behavior with a painful face, but he couldn't say anything. This was all Loki asked for, and he went too far this time. Rocky doubted his life lying on the ground, motionless, staring at the sky with blank eyes, tired. "Destroy it. Hurry up, anyway, I lost all face." "Huh, almost there." Yake looked up at the sky. The dark clouds had dissipated, revealing the clear sky, and the Zeta Swiss soldiers like cockroaches. They unified their targets and aimed their weapons at everyone on the top of Stark Tower. Advertisement. The Avengers couldn't help but look at Yake, and saw him spread his hands and slowly fly into the sky, and began to inject a red and purple energy flow into the giant thunderball, and the thunderball began to dissipate lightning. "A group of rabble, no matter how many people there are, they're still ants. Let's witness the majesty of thunder." The controllers of American, the people, and the eyes of the whole world are focused on this, and they can't see other things. All televisions, computers and other video equipment are affected by the reality gem and are under the control of Yake. Is he going to destroy the world? It must be God. God bless American. With a loud bang, the thunderball burst into an incomparably dazzling light. Looking directly at it for too long could even burn the eyes, and the clear day became like black Yoruichi at this moment, unable to compete for brilliance. Tens of thousands of electric currents automatically found all the Chidori. At this moment, New York seemed to become a country of thunder. In a certain office building, a female white-collar worker looked desperately at the Zeta Swiss soldier who was getting closer and closer. The tip of the weapon shone with blue light. She closed her eyes as if resigned to her fate, but nothing happened. The Zeta Swiss soldier, who was still showing off his power just now, was entangled in the purple electric current, and he didn't say a word. Only the sizzle of the electric current and the disgusting burnt smell could be heard. The Zeta Swiss soldiers and mechanical Kuns in the sky fell to the ground one by one, like dumpling. All that was left to the Avengers was endless silence. Hulk unknowingly turned back into a human form. It recognized Yake, the man who beat him up. After the thunderball released a massive amount of lightning, it shrunk by a third, and Yake couldn't help but look up at the wormhole above. "These are given to you, and they are my presents." The thunderball rose rapidly and got stuck in the wormhole. Yake frowned and turned his head to look at the Rubik's Cube. "The little brother is too weak. Daddy will cheer you up." Yake stretched out his right hand towards the Rubik's Cube. The purple energy enhanced the efficiency of the Rubik's Cube. A large amount of energy surged into the wormhole, and the wormhole expanded instantly, allowing all the thunderballs to enter another world. "Chidori Mothership. Fire, destroy that thing for me." Commander Chidori jumped his feet in anxiety. The thunderball hit the mothership straight, and exploded. The dark starry skies suddenly brightened like daylight, and this starfield was completely bathed in thunder. Yake's operation shocked the hearts of the Avengers. Is this the end of the fight? I feel that I have no sense of participation other than killing a few Zeta Swiss soldiers. 288. Closing. There are no more Chidori passing through the wormhole, and the Chidori are done. But at this time, New York was already dilapidated, there were few intact buildings left, destroyed vehicles were everywhere on the roads, and countless civilians were killed or injured. Turn that thing off quickly, or something will come out again. Thor smashed the Rubik's Cube with a hammer and found that it was still transmitting energy and could not be destroyed. Let me come. Yake pushed Thor away, ignored the energy shield directly, took out the Rubik's Cube, and threw it directly to Thor. He didn't need it yet, and he just had to ask him after it was finished. After losing the power of the Rubik's Cube, the wormhole shrinks rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye until it disappears without a trace. However, the Chidori corpses all over the ground in the dilapidated New York all tell the story of what just happened. Don't you want it? Now is not the time. Let's talk about it later. Don't you still use this to return to Asgard? Yake patted Thor on the shoulder, walked to the edge of the building, looked at the smoke billowing in New York and couldn't help but shook his head, walked away and returned to his home. He just left. Natasha looked at the chaotic city, and then they will be busy. Let's all move. There are still many civilians waiting for our help. Captain America Steve doesn't want to be idle, since he doesn't need to fight. Let's help save people. You can't just stand still like this. After returning home, Peter and May had been waiting for him for a long time. It was Peter who rushed to Yake first, and pushed May away. Yake looked helplessly at the excited Peter. What's wrong? Why are you so excited? What's wrong? My God, Uncle Yake, you are so cool. That thunderball is so powerful, it knocked out all the aliens in one fell swoop. How did you do it? You are simply the strongest superhero, and Hulk can't compare to you, Uncle Yake. I admire you so much. Can I be the head of your fan club? Advertisement. Yake was speechless and May looked at each other. In just a few minutes, Peter said 10 sentences quickly and calmly. Every sentence was expressing his admiration for Yake. To put it bluntly, he was flattering Yake. If Yake hadn't agreed to teach him physical skills, it would be endless. Yake did broadcast the video of himself killing the Chidori all over the world, but his face was always surrounded by lightning, making it blurry. People who want to know his identity can't hide it. The way of showing muscles is very old-fashioned but very practical. Yake's information has long been placed on the conference tables of various countries, especially American. Nick, what is the origin of that Yake? Is he controllable? No, he is completely uncontrollable. To be precise, we don't know anything about his power. If you want to control him, sorry, no one can do it. The 5 congressmen questioned Fury seriously, but Fury didn't care. Anyway, he had nothing to do with Yake. After learning about Yake's other abilities from Stark and others, he knew that he had no way to target Yake. Graham. Except, his neighbor, May, has a very ambiguous relationship with him, but this method can only push him to the opposite side of the Earth. Let's not consider the alien Yake for now. What about the other superheroes? After seeing Yake's natural disaster-like ability, they are vigilant and afraid of Yake, a special existence. If he wants to be detrimental to the Earth, there is no good plan to contain him. This is what they don't want to see arrived. Compared with other superheroes, it is easier to control. At the same time, Loki has been firmly locked up, and the escort is Thor. Stark opened the box to reveal the cosmic Rubik's Cube inside. Eric put the Rubik's Cube into a capsule-like device, and Thor patted Eric on the shoulder. We shall meet again when we have the chance, my friend. After Thor bid farewell, the starter returned to Asgard. When Thor saw everything clearly, he found that Yake was already waiting for them at the entrance of Asgard. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Yake laughed when he saw Thor's bewildered appearance, and took the Rubik's Cube from Thor directly. Thank you, Thor. You know, I have already greeted His Majesty Odin. I still have something to do. I will go first. Advertisement. Yake walked up to Thor, hammered his strong chest muscles, and looked at Loki again, wearing a mask on his mouth. Was he afraid that he would bite? But the most important thing is that the Rubik's Cube has been obtained. Yake twisted the device and returned to the Earth again. Let me try. This feeling is really fascinating. Robin looked at the 2 rings on Yake's hand with interest, but the soul bracelet on his wrist was not so conspicuous. Simultaneously mobilizing the power of 3 infinite gems, a dimensional channel appeared in front of Yake, and the front was dark. Yake walked in without hesitation. The waves ahead were surging, and there were 2 behemoths fighting in the sea. One was a giant robot, and the other was an extremely ugly monster. Yake put it on his index finger, and the blue energy poured into Yake's body instantly. Now Yake has the power of the 3 infinite gems of mind, space and power. Karmatage. Blowing away the glass like fragments to reveal the complete space gem, Yake followed the same pattern and integrated the space gem into an infinite ring, and the forging of the space ring was completed. Walking through the dark corridor, Yake saw the light ahead, and Yake appeared on a lonely island. Have you got it? Yake stimulates the power of space. Dense fog instantly surrounds Yake, and the next second, Yake appears in the desert, followed by the rainforest, the moon. The place where Yake has influence can be moved instantly. Very convenience. No need to ask Robin for help with teleportation anymore. Yake took out the cosmic Rubik's Cube, and with a little force, crushed the cosmic Rubik's Cube carrying the space gem, and a gemstone with a faint blue light lay quietly in Yake's palm. No. Yake looked at the ring on his hand, and next, he tried to see if he could travel to other universes. Ding tilde, the soul gem has been collected. Do you want to absorb power? That's right, Mind Stone, Cosmic Rubik's Cube, etc. Try it. According to my understanding of the Infinity Gem, after having the Space Gem, you should have the ability to travel through the universe equivalent to the suspended ring. With the blessing of the Power Gem, breaking the barrier of space should not be a problem. Both Robin and Rayleigh were present, and Rayleigh had already worn a red-patterned Infinity Ring. 289. Spiritual Trials. Yake nodded, confirmed that he had really traveled to other universes, then turned and left. It seems to be successful. Robin knew the result when he saw Yake with a smile on his face. Not bad, very convenient, in the universe. You guys failed. On the golden throne in the void, a purple little giant turned his back to the Chidori commander. His tone was flat, and he was not annoyed at his failure. Such an attitude made the underground Chidori commander very angry, but there was nothing he could do about it. The prestige of Thanos has already spread throughout the universe, and he is just his pawn, and it is his clansman who died, so it has nothing to do with Thanos. Sorry, Lord Thanos, give me a little time, I will create a large number of clone soldiers, and I will be able to conquer the Earth next time. Sorry, boy, losers don't get second chances, Ebony Maw. Thanos waved his hand, and Ebony Maw, who was standing beside him, smiled cruelly. No, Thanos, you can't do this to me, damn it, you devil. Amid the angry curses of the Chidori leader, the stone thorn pierced through the head, and sticky green blood flowed out all over the place. Tilda, it looks like a formidable enemy has appeared on Earth, but my destiny is always with me. Thanos looked at the distant starry sky and muttered to himself. He already knew the rumors about the Earth. The new Supreme Mage and her partner already had a certain reputation in the universe. Thanos knows that he is not their opponent, but he has seen this situation too many times. It is not that he has no chance at all. The soul gem he finally got is regarded as a gift, but as long as he gets other gems. Jacques, we have good news for you. Advertisement. What good news? Isn't one of you pregnant? Yake was overjoyed and pulled Robin and Rayleigh to sit next to him, and carefully looked at their stomachs, which were still as flat as before, and even had vest lines. We found the location of the soul gem. It is in the center of the universe. Vormir Star is a barren land. When we got there, a red skull told us that the location of the soul gem is there. Yake suddenly fell silent. Robin's speed was a bit too fast. For him, the soul gem was definitely the most difficult gem to obtain, not one of them. Seeing that Yake didn't speak, Robin continued, but the condition for obtaining the soul gem is, you must lose your true love and exchange your soul for your soul. Yake slowly clenched his fists. This soul gem is really F*******. Get up. He may not hesitate to kill a planet Yake, but it is impossible to sacrifice his beloved, whether it is Robin, Rayleigh or Hancock, it is impossible to do it by yourself. It's impossible. You know I won't do it, Yake said without hesitation. Robin and Rayleigh both showed such expressions, and Robin shrank into Yake's arms with a coquettish smile. Honey, of course I know you won't do this, but I didn't tell you to use the Red Skull's words. Yake's complexion changed. Didn't you mean, Hancock? Robin nodded. That's right, Sister Hancock is a soul fruit-capable person, and she has a deep understanding of the soul. If it is Sister Hancock, she may be directly recognized by the soul gem. Yake bowed his head and pondered for a while. Robin's words do have some truth, whether it is he, Robin or Rayleigh, all rely on the power of devil fruit to achieve greater achievements in this universe. There is no reason why Hancock can't do it, let alone their abilities same. The soul gem is nothing more than the ability to steal, manipulate or modify the soul, which is not much different from the soul fruit itself, and then it is the huge energy that all infinite gems have. You're right, Hancock's words may be possible, but it will take a while. I haven't absorbed the power of the Mind Stone and the Space Stone. When I'm ready, you can bring Hancock, Shirahoshi, and Anna over. Let's face it together. My dear, are you going to the mirror space? Take me there, just pick me up when the time comes. Yake nodded. If there is a change, don't want the house, and it will also implicate May and Peter. Advertisement. As soon as the voice fell, the space gem in the infinite ring and the soul gem in the soul bracelet showed their original shapes. Suddenly Yake heard a mobile phone ringing, which was very familiar, but he couldn't call the name. Robin cast a spell and opened the channel of the mirror space. Yake nodded towards them and turned to enter the mirror world. Is this the common test of the mind gem and the space gem? Yake hit it, it's really hard to be woken up from sleep, etc. Tilda. Yake frowned and pinched the handle of the seat. Even if he tried his best, he couldn't crush it. Since he practiced, he has never been so weak. Yake looked around. There was a man with a hat on his right. He seemed to be sleeping. There was a man and a woman sitting in the seat in front of him. They were both sleeping. There were more people at the front of the car, old men, young people and so on. Both. Yake couldn't help cursing inwardly. The soul gem sealed his power, and the space gem sent his body to this strange and familiar world. It seems that this test cannot be passed rashly. System. Absorb the power of the mind gem and the space gem at the same time. Yake shook his head, didn't think too much, simply closed his eyes, waited for the bus to arrive, and then tried to pass the test. Am I going to die like this? 2 gems, one yellow and one blue, appeared in front of Yake, and the blue smoke swallowed them, and the soul gem rushed into his brain, and Yake lost consciousness. Yake lost consciousness again. This is the second time Yake died, and it was so sudden when he died for the first time. Normally, such an explosion would not even hurt Yake's hairs, but this time, severe pain swept through his body, so hot and painful. Yake's hair stood on end. Although he lost his ability to see and hear, he clearly sensed the danger. The next second, the bus hit a fuel tanker and caused an explosion. I became an ordinary person. Yake opened his eyes and found that he was sitting on a bus. Outside the window was the street scene that kept regressing. Yake was sitting in the last row, looking at the reflection of the glass window. It was an unknown face. He became another person. 290. Another time loop. When Yake regained consciousness, he was still sitting on the bus. But there are more vague memories in my mind. My name is Lee Yake, and I am an ordinary college student. The reason why I took this car is to go on a date with my girlfriend. Yake took out his mobile phone, unlocked the lock screen password subconsciously, and clicked on the contacts. Although the names were marked, Yake didn't know anyone. He didn't know the name of his girlfriend, only her appearance. Yake looked around, and it was exactly the same as before, and it seemed a little familiar. Isn't this just a time loop? After all, Yake can be regarded as a man who has experienced a time loop. Is this the test of the soul gem? Yake lowered his head and pondered. Just now the bus hit the fuel tanker and exploded. After the explosion, he started the cycle again, indicating that the key lies in this explosion. Is his own test to stop the explosion? Yake took a deep breath and carefully observed the situation in the car. The information he had just obtained was too little. The only thing he remembered was the ringtone of the mobile phone. Anyway, everything would start again, and he needed more information. There are very few people in the carriage, most of them are resting, and some people are playing with their mobile phones with their heads down. Yake thought. Is it just an accident? Looks like things aren't that bad. Everything was as usual, except that Yake quietly sat in the front of the car. If the explosion just now was caused by a fuel tank truck, then there must have been a traffic accident, and he had to figure out why the traffic accident happened. When the bus reached the intersection of traffic lights, Yake became alert, more nervous than the driver, and had a panoramic view of every move of all the vehicles and pedestrians around him. When the green light came on, the bus started to drive. Yake noticed that a delivery truck was about to cross the road. Yake had noticed it a long time ago and quickly reminded the driver. Master, pay attention to that delivery car, he wants to grab the red light. It was reminded that the driver immediately noticed the electric car, slammed on the brakes, the bus stopped, almost hit the takeaway car, and the passengers on the bus woke up. These food delivery people, they really are immortal. The driver thanked Yake, restarted the vehicle, and continued driving. The girl behind Yake who was with the boy woke up. The girl opened her eyes in confusion. Could it be that it was just a dream? Advertisement. Seeing the vehicle running smoothly, she breathed a sigh of relief, and continued to sleep with her eyes closed. When she walked to the bridge, her phone rang again. The girl and Yake were shocked, and they were swallowed by the flames in the next second. At this moment, Yake finally knew that this was not an accident, but a premeditated accident. On the second cycle, Yake in the last row opened his eyes. I knew it wasn't that simple. This time Yake is going to remind the driver as usual, and then observe where the phone rings, and confirm the location of the bomb. Although this body is weak, the memory of the battle is still deep in Yake's mind, although the strength is not as good as before. 1/10,000th of that, but it is absolutely no problem against ordinary people. But there was a little accident. The girl who had been sleeping woke up, and... Uncle driver, stop quickly, I want to get off. The girl slammed on the door of the car and wanted to get out of the car. The driver explained to her helplessly. Other passengers also accused the girl and didn't want to stop. The girl had no choice but to give up and return to her seat. Yake showed a smile. It seems that he is not the only one who circulates. Things get interesting. The vehicle continued to drive, and it was about to reach the intersection again. Yake walked towards the front of the car, leaving her a mysterious smile when passing by the girl. This man. Why is he smiling at me? The girl looked at Yake's smile a little puzzled, and after a while she heard Yake's voice reminding the driver. She has been observing Yake's every move, but now her head is still a little confused, and she doesn't know what she is. Are you dreaming or what are you doing? When the bus drove on the Cross River Bridge, Yake's heart lifted up, and he put his hand on the center of his eyebrows, watching every move of the passengers from the corner of his eye. When the phone rang, the girl's expression suddenly tightened and she looked around. Yake found that near the rear door, a middle-aged woman had a change, and then everything in front of him was engulfed in flames, and Yake lost consciousness again. Third cycle. Yake opened his eyes and broke his wrist. He already knew who was carrying the bomb, but the girl looked at him, and he still gave her a mysterious smile. She rushed to the driver's seat and yelled, I need to get out of the car. I'm in a hurry. Stop, Tilda? Advertisement. The driver persuaded Li Shiqing earnestly, trying to dispel her thoughts, but Li Shiqing didn't listen at all. She just wanted to survive. She wanted to survive, and slammed on the car door frantically. Li Shiqing frowned and said to Yake that she never wanted to experience death again, and now she just wanted to escape from this bus. That's right, and I've experienced it 3 times. Now it seems that you are the same as me. By the way, my name is Lee Yake, and you can call me Yake. The girl went straight to Yake and whispered to Yake. Have you experienced an explosion, too? Little girl, you can't park without arriving at the stop, otherwise you will violate the regulations. Sorry, I can't help you, you can try it yourself. The other passengers found that Li Shiqing was not in the right mood, and enthusiastically helped her get back to her seat. After some farce, the carriage returned to calm, but Li Shiqing still couldn't get off. The bus was getting closer and closer to the Cross River Bridge. Yake stood up slowly, walked to the rear door, pretended to be waiting to get off the bus, and played with his mobile phone with his head down. It is not difficult for Yake to get out of the car, but his purpose is not to live alone. That is meaningless. He must remove the threat on the car, otherwise he will be trapped in this cycle forever. She looked at Yake desperately, but Yake was unmoved, and sat next to the driver, ready to remind him to avoid the electric car. In fact, Yake's gaze has been fixed on the indifferent middle-aged woman. This girl must be mentally ill, quickly control her. Now Yake understands Domaemu's feelings a little bit, it is really tormenting. Seeing that Yake was not going to help, Li Shiqing was very entangled in her heart, and finally glanced at Yake helplessly, and started her own performance. Li Shiqing watched Yake's actions silently, to see what good way Yake could do. My name is Li Shiqing. We must leave this car, or we will all die. We need to cooperate.